Assemble the accused! Bear witness to their trials! The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me for tonight's torture is Grand Inquisitor Gary Beekler. Gary, a Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all the Inquisitioners out there. I don't know. What do we call our group in the chat?
I don't know. Inquisitionites.
The Inquisitionites, maybe? I don't know.
Inquisitionites. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Brain froze me there. Hey, Doomcock, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show, everyone. We're going to have some fun talking about a really bad movie. I mean, is it the worst movie ever made? No, but this one was pretty bad. So bad it got a sequel. It's getting another one. Yay. Failing upward in Hollywood is a beautiful thing. And yes, we're going to discuss Wonder Woman 1984, probably a little Star Wars. And you know what we're not going to discuss tonight? And I hate to disappoint anybody, but neither Doomcock or I watched Star Trek because I didn't want to ruin my fracking Christmas. So there's nothing to talk about. Maybe we'll be back to it next week, but we'll talk about The Expanse. We're going to talk about The Expanse because
man, that was something.
That episode was great. But yeah, we're gonna start out with Wonder Woman 84, and I hope everyone had a great Christmas. And we're still in the holidays, and my recommendation would be to not watch the film. Life is too short. Spend some time with your family. Take the ball out and throw it with your son, or it's 2020. You could take the ball out, throw it with your son or daughter, go on a bike ride, mow the lawn, pay some bills, paint the house, do anything but watch this movie because it is boring. It is so boring. And I've seen it twice, so I don't ever want to see it again.
Saw it twice.
I know it was through a miscommunication with Mrs. Neurotic because I told her to watch it while I was doing my show on Friday, and she didn't because she thought I would want to watch it with her. And I know I told you to watch it because I didn't want to see it again, but we saw it again, and it was good to get the female perspective because she thought it sucked more than I did, to be honest with you. So that was good. Wow. Her big takeaway was there wasn't enough Chris Pine without his shirt on or some nonsense like that. But what there wasn't enough of is actual Wonder Woman. I think you would want Wonder Woman in your Wonder Woman movie, maybe.
That's kind of a weird idea, Gary, typical of the patriarchy to want to go ahead and feast your eyes on the glamorous gorgeousness of Gal Gadot. Oh, but wait a minute. But it is a movie called Wonder Woman. So, I mean, and you're kind of supposed to want to see Wonder Woman, aren't you? I'm confused. What is the proper woke response here? This is a movie that, honestly, its wokeness seems a little bit confused, which I think is a plus for it, to be honest. I mean, it's not nearly as woke as, say, some garbage like Ghostbusters 2016. I mean, that, or a lot of these like Star Trek Discovery or any of these fucking shows. Wonder Woman 84 is a curious thing. It's a weird movie. And yes, it is boring. I mean, it is. Wow. I mean, the first 20 minutes of this thing, I actually enjoyed. We had like the scene on Paradise Island where young Diana is running a race. And aside from some of the worst CG I've seen in a long time, oh boy, somebody needs to fix the gravity algorithm on that rendering machine, because holy smokes. That the effects were laughable pretty consistently through this movie, the effects. And that's not what you would expect. I mean, usually at least they get the effects right, but the effects are kind of almost charmingly laughable. Like not since, 70s and 80s wire fu have we gotten effects this cockeyed. So we've got this long race on Paradise Island or whatever I think it's Paradise Island, isn't it? I forget what it is. Anyway.
Themyscira. Paradise Island,
Yeah, and that was okay. I mean, all right, young Indiana Jones, whatever. And then we had a scene in a mall that I swear to God, I mean, it really harkened back for me to like Superman 2. Just the level of effects and the fun of it. It was fun. I like that. I actually thought that was good. And then we get Pedro Pascal, and we get Kirsten Wiig, and we get all the things that really drag this movie down. And boy, I tell you what, after that first 15, 20 minutes, kiss Wonder Woman goodbye for the next hour. Think about that. It went an hour without Wonder Woman.
An hour and 20 minutes.
Was it that long?
It was that
because I quit. I had to stop. I just had, okay, you know what? I got to stop. I'm an hour and a half into this fucking thing. I need to stop now and take a breath and just go and because I was so bored. And I was just astonished that it took this long to get any more Wonder Woman action. But you're right. It probably was about an hour and 20 minutes. I stopped at an hour and 30. I was like, okay, it's been an hour and 10 minutes without any superhero action. Not since Fantastic has there been a movie with this little superheroics in it that's supposedly a superhero movie. Fantastic, I think, even went worse, but and they never delivered. At least Wonder Woman, eventually, when she shows up, she shows up. She is adorable. Gal Gadot is so gorgeous. And so feminine, and she just lights up the room, but she's also strong and compassionate. I mean, if there's anything in this movie worth seeing that saves it, it is her. And I am a fan of her Wonder Woman. I just wish they had a better vehicle for her.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, she is the biggest difference. Okay, so the comparisons to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, by the way, was a film that was a reaction to the success of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, the first one, the action is better, the special effects are better. Even that sloppy ass third act was better than this. Unfortunately, they fell into they took a step backwards. They fell into the tropes of Birds of Prey and Captain Marvel with these very light, but it's there, misandry, and the mixed messaging with the feminism. You could tell this thing was reshot, rewritten to hell. Okay, I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head. Its original release date was November 1st, 2019, and then it was June 5th, 2020. Then it was August 14th, 2020. Then it was October 2nd, 2020. And then we finally got it on December 25th. It was supposed to be at Comic-Con in 2019. That was pulled along with the entire Warner Brothers slate right after Jar Jar Abrams was signed at Warner Brothers. Jar Jar Abrams and his wife pushed out Kevin, not Walter Hamada, but Kevin, I'm forgetting. It's a Japanese last name. I'm sorry. He was the CEO at Warner Brothers that had to leave for them to sign. Wow. After they forced him out, and that's not just me saying it. This is a not a Hollywood Reporter article. They forced him out. Then all of a sudden things start getting reshot, blah, blah, blah. And they try to distance this thing from the billion-dollar predecessor, which makes no sense whatsoever. And they tried to make it as unlike it as possible while keeping two of the best, or what they believe are the best elements, Patty Jenkins, Chris Pine, and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, if you compare her, I mean, Captain Marvel should have been cast by a woman with the prowess of Gal Gadot, with the grace, with the class, not some spazzy 17-year-old who doesn't wash her feet. And that's Brie Larson, who has been dethroned as the most hated woman on the internet by Amber Heard. I completely agree with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. But it's not enough to carry this film. Yeah, she's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her as Wonder Woman, and Chris Pine is great. And he's he's great as Steve Trevor. I think he's a terrible Steve Rogers but but I think he's a great Steve Trevor. And they have obvious chemistry. And unfortunately, the best scenes in this movie are the little rom-com scenes, which is a bit of a problem when you're watching a superhero movie.
Yeah, I know, man. Oh, geez. I mean, I tell you though, were you warmed? Were your cockles warmed when that scene that made me laugh my ass off in the cockpit when she's like, "It's amazing how you can fly," and he like, "Well, it's just a talent I have."
Yeah.
You catch the air and you feel the wind and you just sense when to rise. Is it really the plane's got nothing to do with it? It's just like, and then later on she can fly from his instructions.
From
guys.
his instructions.
From his instructions.
Well,
that's all it took.
She figured out how to make the jet invisible because she remembered her dad, made Themyscira invisible. I mean, I watched my dad work on a motorhome. I'm not going to go try to work on a freaking motorhome because I watched my dad do it. The only thing I learned was like a few cuss words. That's about it. But okay. And we'll get to that. The beginning scene with young Diana. I don't know. I thought it went on way too long, and it felt like a contractual obligation to keep Robin Wright and Connie Nielsen. Is that her name? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weren't they? She was in Devil's Advocate, right? I think she was.
I don't remember her.
With Charlize Theron. Great movie, dude. Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah, that is a good movie. It is.
Yeah. And Robin Wright, I mean, she looked great. Oh my God, did she look great for that little scene, but it went on way too long. And yeah, everybody is as light as a feather. There's like no momentum or gravity or anything to those.
No, it was terrible. It was that was bad CG, man. Bad CG. But the worst was yet to come, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. And that whole scene was, so we learned that cheating is bad, telling the truth is good. That was the whole reason for that scene.
Right.
And then the mall scene, that was the IMAX scene because my screen went from dit to that. That's how I found out. And yeah, it was fine. The action scene was fine. It wasn't I mean, if you paid for an IMAX ticket, I'd feel ripped off.
Oh God, yeah.
And apparently I had a member on my stream today say they went to a theater to watch it. So there's theaters open in America somewhere. But the entire country of China can watch it right now, and they didn't want to, but they can, and that's a story for another day. Yeah, but after that scene, where the robbers, we're going to spoil a little bit. I mean, yeah, we're going to spoil this. Sorry. They go and rob the little the truth crystal. After that, no Wonder Woman. She's all in her street clothes, and it becomes a rom-com mystery movie for like an hour and a half, and it goes down the road of like, it makes all the mistakes old superhero films made back prior to the MCU and the DCU. We over focus on a villain's origin that ended up being completely meaningless, and then the other villain reminded me of Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face. He was just a clown. He was just a fracking clown. I didn't feel sorry for him. I didn't like he wasn't intimidating. I just was, and everybody's like praising Pedro Pascal like he just did an Oscar-worthy performance or something like that. It's so much overpraising going on Twitter. It's like easy, okay? That was like your average guest star role in Heart to Heart. That's about the best I could say about that. He's a decent actor. He does some good stuff somewhere else. In this one, what a waste of Max Lord. And if you've ever read the character in the comics, you know what I'm talking about. Like from the Giffen Justice League run, that's Max Lord.
Right. Yeah. He did like Justice League International or something like that. He was,
He started the Justice League after the Crisis.
Right.
I mean, been a decade since I've read
He wasn't a villain. He was complex.
He's complex. He turns into a villain. He's a complex character though. But
this was not.
This was not complex. It's not complex at all. And Cheetah is a good villain that's completely wasted. And just to answer your question, because I know everybody is wondering out there because of Cats last year, is there going to be a butthole cut of Wonder Woman 1984? I don't know. I was asked about it a couple times. I say sure. Why not? As soon as we get the Cats version, we'll get the Wonder Woman 1984 version. But like nothing happens. They get this wish wishing stone, but I forgot what it was called, and I've watched it twice and I don't care. And it acts like a monkey's paw. There was some spoilers out about a year ago on Reddit. They were, I think, damn near 100% correct. For anybody who disses Reddit, that's what I love to say. I remember pretty much every season of Game of Thrones after season 2 being spoiled on Reddit, like perfectly. And whoever had the plot from a year ago, they were pretty spot on from what I remember. I don't know what they've reshot or anything, but it acts like a monkey's paw. So if you make a wish on it, it takes something from you. It grants your wish, but it takes your most valuable possession or something like that. And Barbara Minerva, is that she wishes on it accidentally without really knowing what it does. Diana does the same thing, and then Steve Trevor comes back in another man's body. And honestly, I didn't think about this till this was brought up Friday to show you what a toxic male I am. When Steve Rogers comes back, it's like Quantum Leap. So she sees Steve Rogers, but nobody else does. He's in somebody else's body. So he's taking this body for a ride. What this guy's doing during this time, who knows? But Diana decides to take that body for a ride as well. Imagine if the roles were reversed a little bit. Just, if it was a man doing that to a woman who was trapped in another woman's body.
Yep.
I think they would be a little pissed off.
They were completely unconcerned with where this other man went, which was the first thing that I was thinking. That's kind of weird. That's the first thing I was like, so was he a corpse that got reanimated? I mean, where is the person that's supposed to be in this body? But they are completely spectacularly unconcerned with that little question. And it was so unnecessary. Just fucking have him come back.
Yep.
Just have him come back. Just, okay, so all of reality has changed so that he didn't crash. And, he's been wandering through China or something all this time. And he pops up and he finds her and that's it. I mean, why do we need this weird body snatcher story? That's just really odd.
It's very odd because you're right. So that's the biggest fundamental problem with this movie, aside from the boringness of it, is the flaws in logic. Why did it pick this guy? Or he didn't make a wish on, he didn't do anything wrong. So why this guy? It's dumb. You could have just had Steve pop back into existence. If it's that powerful, it can just pop you back in existence. That's done. And then when she renounces a wish, he fades and goes away. And it really meant nothing to the story, but my God, at least, we got the changing clothes montage and had a man do it this time. That was a big, that's a subversion of expectations. The best moments, though, I liked were, and you could tell, especially after Patty Jenkins' video when she announced she's doing the Star Wars movie and she was talking about her dad's a pilot. It really did explain quite a bit why there was that much reverence for Steve Rogers. She was imprinting her dad on it, which isn't a bad thing. And the Man Out of Time stuff, it was cheesy that they flipped it over instead of Diana. It's Steve this time, but it was cool. She takes him to the museum and he sees, the rocket and stuff. That was the stuff I thought was the most well done. But it's not why I watch a superhero movie. It's just like, it's a cool scene, but I'm still pretty bored. And it goes on and on and on. And and how'd you like that? The streets of Washington, D.C. are lined with alcoholic white male drapists who want to assault every woman they see as they walk by.
Of course. Well, the other homeless guy was a man of color, so of course he was noble and oppressed and long suffering, and he wouldn't harm a fly. And then she comes across a white businessman drunk on a park bench, and he of course gives her crap. Until Wonder Woman shows up and kicks his ass. And then later he gets his ass kicked again by Kirsten Wiig.
Yeah.
Shades of Ghostbusters 2016, although this was not nearly as bad as that. Not even close.
And why I mentioned this in my member stream today, but why in the hell do you think they cast Kristen Wiig? It was because of Ghostbusters 2016. That's exactly why they picked her. It's not like, oh my God, Cheetah. I see Cheetah when I see Kristen Wiig. It's not like there aren't other attractive women who can be funny. As a matter of fact, there's a lot that are better than Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig is very good at playing Kristen Wiig. That's about it. I mean, she's not the worst thing in this movie, and as it progresses, it's fine. I mean, she's not horrible in it. She's just Kristen Wiig, and she doesn't do it for me. But I mean, and to acknowledge the ladies out there, I understand that when you're walking home from work, especially in the big city, especially in the 80s, you got catcalled all the time, a little whistle here and there. Sure. I mean, but it's not like I'm going to grab you all the time. Now, it did happen. Okay. Because I'm married and I understand, like my wife lived in the big city and she would walk around even San Francisco and get shit. So I acknowledge, I know that happens, but they just played it up a little bit too, especially the two scenes. And the second one's my favorite when it has like 9 guys out there and they're all, hey. And really, Washington, D.C., bunch of white guys being drunk. I mean, like if they're politicians, I mean, if they were outside a government building, okay, I might be able to buy it. But
right.
Yeah. And maybe she was, maybe there were a bunch of senators. Okay. And that, if they would have said that, I would believe it. Although she was a little too old for those senators, if you know what I'm saying.
She was, but I got to say, I do like that leotard workout look from the 80s. So she was rocking that for a while. She looked good in that scene. I was surprised. Not bad. The kind of high-waisted leotards that women used to wear, like Olivia Newton-John in Physical.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciated that. I like that.
Yeah.
She was terrible otherwise, though.
That stuff is back. It's back already. Not that we can go to gyms anymore, but
right.
Yeah. And it just, what we do is we follow Maxwell Lord. They try to make him sympathetic by giving him an Asian son.
Yeah. I don't know. That was weird.
I didn't show the mom or anything. So, there's a lot of questions that weren't answered, and they spend a lot of time setting up Maxwell Lord and Cheetah while Diana is on this little mystery with Steve Rogers. And then there's the point where they steal the plane. And she works in a museum, but she got right onto this. I must have missed the part where she just flashed a card and got onto the Air Force base or something, or the where they had jets. So it was an airport of some kind. And
well, dude, I mean, she worked at the Smithsonian, right?
Well, okay.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. But my impression was that they stole one of the planes from the Smithsonian. That it was parked outside as an exhibit, but it's fully fueled and powered up and
okay, sure,
ready to go, which is even more absurd. It's even more absurd because those planes can't fucking fly.
No,
they're sitting there fully
fueled in the tower. So if they're not going to fly them, why would they have guys in the tower? And I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I thought that was like at a local like airport or something, like detecting a jet taking off. I didn't think it was the Smith. I don't know. There's a lot in this movie that is not well explained.
The editing is horrible. The continuity is horrible. There's missing stuff like Max Lord has a health problem, and it's prior to him using the crystal, but they don't bring it up. And then once he starts using the truth stone or crystal, whatever the hell it is, it starts affecting his health. And it feels like that there was some health problem before that they might have cut out. It doesn't matter because I'm so bored. I stopped caring how everything works, and I just want to get there. So they steal this jet, and this is supposed to be the "Can you read my mind" scene from Superman,
Yes.
But a reverse version of it. And if it was like a 30-second scene, it would have been fine. This goes on and on and on. So they steal the jet, and there's a thing called radar, which he doesn't know about because he's from World War I. That's fine.
Of course, World War II, and they had radar in World War II. So I don't know what the fuck that was.
Why am I blank? Was it World War II in
I think it was against the Germans, right? It was against the Yazis, wasn't it? Am I wrong?
World War I.
Was it World War I, guys? Or was it World War II? Ask the chat, because I thought it was World War II.
It was World War I. So if it's World War I, how the fuck did he know how to fly that plane?
So that's even worse. See, I thought it was World War II, because I mean, that's around the time when actually the comics were published.
Yeah, there was no man's land and they were doing the Gatling guns. That's World War I. It's been
I'll be damned. Okay. Well, that's even worse, because how the hell would even
hell he should be able to fly that plane if he flew a biplane. I mean, that's like riding a bicycle and thinking you can drive a car. You know, it's ridiculous. Oh my God. He just goes, yeah, he just gets sitting there. He's like, yeah, just hit this button and go. Let's take off. Woo!
Oh my God.
And then he takes off, and then there's radar, so they need to make the plane invisible. And Diana goes, well, my father made Themyscira invisible, and I was trying to copy the trick, and I did it with a coffee cup once 50 years ago. And then she just does this and makes the plane invisible. And then my wife screams, Wonder Woman flies the motherfucker invisible jet, not Steve. So and then they fly through the fireworks, and you're like, okay, that's nice. And then they go above the clouds and show the fireworks of the clouds, and we're like, where is this going? And then they end up in Egypt. They're just in Egypt. Okay, I got a question. I mean, I has never been in the Air Force. I have obviously never been in the military. Is there enough fuel in a jet to fly from Washington, D.C. to Egypt? I know there is in a jumbo jet, but like a smaller jet.
No way. And in fact, they had already made. See, that's the thing, Gary. It's like, if he was flying biplanes. See, I'm confused. So it actually was World War I, because he said there's no plane that would have enough fuel to get from Washington to Egypt. In the movie, he says it. So I mean, it's calling our attention to this fact. And the fact is, a jet is not a long range kind of a thing. It's not going to be able to fly that far. I absolutely would not believe that. I would think its maximum range would be, well, I don't know. It would depend on the jet. But
far. I just don't. I mean, that's far. I mean, that's around the world. I mean, it's not like flying to Australia or anything, but from here. But yeah. Wrong. Oh shit. You know what? Everything I'm saying is being written down on my Google right now. God dang.
Oh, that's weird.
Fuck off. Yeah.
How the hell did you?
I must have said something that woke up my phone and thought I was talking to it. Does that all the time? Does it in the middle of the night. It says things like, I'm watching you sleep. No, just kidding. So this jet flies to Egypt. Okay, because they're following Maxwell Lord. Maxwell Lord is trying to obtain wishes. He was running a Ponzi scheme based on land that was supposed to have oil in it, but it was all fake. And then he wishes he becomes the crystal. So his wish is to become the crystal. So he grants the wish, and then he can take whatever he wants in return from anybody who grants the wish. And he just walks around going, don't you wish I would do this thing? And then people would say yes. And then he would take whatever he needs from them. And it goes on and on. And it's an interesting concept that was just sloppily put together. And also it proves that this isn't the kind of villain you can base an entire superhero film around. That's probably why they added Cheetah in. I don't know. The writers of this film were Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns. Patty Jenkins, I don't know what she's written before. She's directed TV shows before and sitcoms and shit like that. And she's a comedian or hung with comedians or something. And that's fine. And then there's Jeff Johns, who has written some of the best DC comics I've ever read, and also written some. I mean, he's okay in TV. He's been fine doing Smallville episodes and occasionally like a teen. He wrote a Teen Titans episode that I like. I hated the rest of them, but I like that one. But he's also written some complete shite, and the dude just doesn't work in film. I know the Snyder Cut guys hate this guy. I think you got the guy wrong. I've never heard a bad thing about him. I don't think he's a backstabby type of person. I think he's actually probably too nice of a guy to make it in Hollywood, and he just doesn't really navigate the Hollywood politics very well. And he's going to be where Snyder was the fall guy for Justice League at first, and now things have changed, obviously. Jeff Johns is going to be the fall guy for this one for sure. And he probably just wrote the superhero action scenes. I have no idea. But I didn't see, I could be wrong, but I didn't see or hear that many DC Easter eggs. They tried to disconnect this as much as they could from the Snyder, which is so weird. From the Snyder cut now that, and now WB's all, we love the Snyder cut. What are you talking about? So Wonder Woman is probably going to be redeemed pretty, she's got 3 months to be redeemed. We're going to see her. And this is her 4th time as Wonder Woman. She's fucking great as Wonder Woman. It's such a waste to put her in such a hollow film and to really fall back on this. And again, light misandry shit. As far as woke is concerned, Doomcock's right. I don't see it. Patty Jenkins said that they partially based Max Lord on Trump. I guess if you really want to see it, you can. Other than being a reality star and maybe having him dress and look a little bit like Trump did in the 80s, not much, but a little bit. And then, of course, there was the horrific wall thing, which was, I think this is a case of outwoking yourself to where the woke is on you. What Maxwell Lord does is he goes to Egypt, and there's a prince or somebody, and he owns a bunch of oil, and he wants him to wish for something. And the guy wishes that all the heathens were off his land and he had his ancestral land back. And a giant wall goes up around Egypt, cutting off. And I don't know how the wall automatically separated the heathens and everybody else. I don't know how it worked, but it just popped up. And then the guy says, "Oh, I already sold my oil to the Saudis." So Max Lord is all, shit. I'll just take your security guards and I'll go find some more oil. And he leaves that guy alone in a walled up country, where he'll be torn apart. Then he takes off, and then, we get this big scene that you all saw on the trailer that's trying to rip off Raiders of the Lost Ark. Truck? What truck? Dun, 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 dun. Favorite fucking scene. And they you could tell it's shot in a freaking green screen. I mean, lighting. You people make thousands of dollars. Some of you make hundreds of $1,000s, hundreds of thousands. Some of you make millions. And that CG was a joke. So you're in a daytime scene where the sun it's at noon. So it's at 12 o'clock. The sun is right above you. So where do the shadows go? The shadows go below you. They go below you. They don't go to the side like lights coming from this side, unless there's something it's reflecting off, which it couldn't be because it was desert on both sides. So you clearly see like the shadow on the side of Wonder Woman's face, and like when she's running, and dude, no momentum again. She was just, her legs were like floating. She looked like the Roadrunner. That's what I was thinking.
It really was. It was like the Roadrunner. It was a joke, man. The physics in this movie are a joke in terms of special effects. I mean, they do not look for any level of realism here. But one of the worst moments in the movie comes in this scene when Steve Trevor is about to get shot. Like the bullet is heading right for him in the truck, and she lassos the bullet with her lasso. I repeat, she lassos the bullet with her lasso and saves him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine lassoing the bullet? I can imagine Superman stepping in front of the bullet or catching the bullet, but whipping a lasso, which has to travel then faster than the bullet, a lot faster than the bullet, to overtake the bullet at the last minute. And then it just wraps around. He just wraps around it and gets it. Wow. That was so fucking awful. It was one of the worst things I've seen in a superhero movie. Come on, man. Come on.
That was bad. And it could have just ricocheted away. You could have something like that, but
right.
was so, you're right. It was so slow. And I'm like, wow, that is the slowest moving
It
bullet.
was a teeny bullet too, as bullets are wont to be, and yet it just kind of hooked a little bit around. It couldn't wrap around it several times. It just hooked around it just enough to be able to somehow yank it. Which I guess really Wonder Woman in this movie is Spider-Man, because her lasso has the ability to stick to things. Her lasso has the ability to shoot up and grab a passing plane or a skyscraper flagpole and swing her, or nothing. Yes. Well, she was swinging on lightning at one point. Yes. She was lassoing the lightning and swinging on it like it was a beam. Somebody needs to tell these people that lightning is not actually solid. But never mind. But in another way, she was Spider-Man. When the kids are in the middle of the road during this truck chase, and she swings down on her lasso from God knows where, from what she's swinging on, I don't know. But she swings down on her lasso and scoops them up, two of them. One of them, she's got her arm around, and the other one, she just touches with the back of her hand on the kid's back and scoops him up because she's Spider Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Spider.
She's magic. She's got magic now, and she's got spider powers.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? This movie, okay, imagine if the women from The View wrote a superhero movie. This will be it.
We don't have to imagine anymore. We don't have to imagine.
This is it. Yeah. This is like if Whoopi Goldberg and that other woman wrote a superhero movie. This is it. Yeah. So this scene goes on forever, and she does like crawl under a truck. I mean, she gets shot at 50 caliber gun. She's losing her powers, and they're firing this 50 caliber gun. By the way, they're firing also at the car that Max Lord is in. How it never gets hit, I don't know. But 50 caliber guns, like, I mean, we all remember Saving Private Ryan, what that does to things. It evaporates them. So I don't know how that worked out either, but it did. Diana is losing her powers because of her wish. So it's costing her most valued possession. I guess it's aside from the thing you wish for, and they even bring this up in the movie. Barbara Minerva brings it up. It's all what if the thing you wish for is your most valued possession? What does it, take the second most valuable possession? Like, because to some people that thing they wish for would be automatically their most valued possession. So does the thing take it back? See, the logic of this thing just doesn't work, and you should just keep it as ambiguous as possible. And the one thing they also didn't do is explain to you how Max Lord really found out where the truth crystal was, how he found out about it originally at all. They did one passing scene where Diana and Steve were, and this was straight up out of like I think they were trying to pay homage to the 70s TV show. I think they were. And he's helping her investigate. And there's some stuff on Max Lord's desk, like a map and a design of the crystal showing that he had been looking for it before, but that's the only answer you get. And it's connected to a god. And we've already seen Wonder Woman fight gods before. So you're thinking, well, maybe we'll see the god in this. Like maybe we'll see the god behind it. No, it's just an object he left behind that destroys civilizations. They mentioned it, that's what killed off the Mayans. It was this truth stone. So after the big, long freaking thing in the desert, I had to go back, and I'm like, how'd they get back from Egypt? All of a sudden they're back in Washington, and I had to go back, and there's a quick scene where you see the jet take off, and that's it. But like you blink and you'll miss it. And Diana calls from Egypt, right? And calls Barbara, and Barbara's like, yeah, I've got a lead, this guy, who knows about the crystal. She's like, I'll meet you there tomorrow. And then the jet takes off, and then they're back in Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, the world is descending into chaos because everybody's getting their wishes granted everywhere. And what Max is trying to do is get more, because it's taken such a physical toll on him. He needs to get with more people. He gets to a televangelist, which was kind of funny, and gets him out of trouble. But takes his parishioners. Then he gets to President Reagan, which was such fucking, Hollywood just hates Reagan. I don't understand that because he comes from Hollywood, whatever. But Maxwell Lord gets him to wish for more nuclear weapons at one point, which puts us on the precipice of World War III. And the Russians are just portrayed as like paper Russians. They look like this innocent party that was attacked by. It was just weird how they portrayed that, and it got so messy at the end. I'm like, I had trouble keeping track of what was going on. Meantime, there's Alistair. You know how his son, right, who's popping up, but I don't see any supervision outside of Max. So maybe there's somebody outside the door who brings him in all the time, but he's just running around by himself the whole time. At the end, I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, it just turns into a freaking mess. And you see Barbara kind of descending into, she's getting more and more powerful as she figures out that, finally they all figure out when they go to that Mayan guy, what the truth crystal is all about. And it's imbued by Loki, but they can't say Loki. And Barbara's like, well, I don't want you. You have to renounce the wishes for everything to be returned or destroy the crystal. Well, they can't destroy the crystal because it's in Max Lord. So we can't kill Max Lord. I mean, the world's about to, be destroyed, but we cannot think about that option at all. So we got to get him to renounce the wish. And Barbara doesn't want to renounce her wish because she likes being powerful. So she takes off to go protect Max Lord while he's with the president, and he gets the president's powers and blah, blah, blah. But we got to get to the end, dude, because this movie sucks. And I don't want to talk about it that long. But and the radar station, the transmission military station, how does that transmit to like a foxhole in the middle of the desert in, I don't know, whatever country they're in, a stand. They were in nondescriptistan, whatever
Right.
they were. How does it transmit there? How did he transmit to everybody?
The same way that it can transmit without camera or microphone. After Wonder Woman destroys that in the fight at the end, he just stands in the beam, the little blue beam, the mystery blue beam. Do we have technology like that in the 80s? No, not really. Do we have technology like that now? No, probably not. But it's a magic blue beam, and he can just stand in it and rant and broadcast. And not only that, but she can lasso his foot with her magic lasso, and her lasso will prove to be a mic extension cord, and she can broadcast through him in the blue light without a microphone or a camera. So
and everybody would pay attention because they tried to portray this on TV screens and the big screens in Times Square, but it's just a big yellow glowy thing. And you're supposed to be able to hear Diana. She's talking very softly, but Pedro Pascal was screaming, "You can't stop me." And so this film ends with a fight in the dark with Cheetah, which is a good thing they put it in the dark because my God, did that look bad. Whoa. Wow. I felt bad I was like, oh, this is bad. It was the cat.
How did she become Cheetah? All she said was on the plane, where for some reason now she can have 2 wishes. I thought it was everybody could only have 1 wish, but she gets 2. And she doesn't want to be like Diana. She wants to be the apex predator. It's like, and so you shall be. You shall turn into an cat. And it's like, what? There was no indication. No, what the actual F was that?
Yeah. So Barbara Minerva goes through the whole, I don't know if I got the last name right, but she goes through the whole movie as Kristen Wiig. And yes, there's a plane ride where she talks to Max, and Max says I'm going to rebuild my body 1 organ at a time. I'm feeling generous. What do you want? She's all, I want to be the apex predator. So he's all, okay. So he can now so the stuff he wants, he can now pass it on to people apparently, which is another change of the rules. And then then Wonder Woman shows up with her golden eagle armor, which I had to be reminded, but it's from Kingdom Come. And it belonged to another Amazonian who sacrificed herself when all the men wanted to enslave the Amazons, and they were basically the 300 from Sparta, attacking a character in this armor. And she apparently found the armor intact somewhere, and she just mentions it in passing, and all of a sudden she takes it. Although she's fully powered, there's no real explanation why she puts on this armor. She just does. to sell an action figure. Maybe that was the best explanation. Did I miss an explanation why she put on the armor at the end? I mean, she needed it for Cheetah, but she didn't know she was going to fight Cheetah. She was surprised when she saw her.
No, you were right. Well, she wasn't anticipating Cheetah, which is stupid. What a stupid plot point that is. But I guess she put it on just because Kirsten Wiig was as powerful as she was, so it might give her a little bit of an edge.
Okay.
Fighting her, I guess. I mean, it wasn't stated. That's the imaginary reason I told myself. So I don't know. You can take that or not. But boy, those wings didn't last long. She just shredded them. Old Cheetah did, and she just stands there letting her shred her armor. It's like, you sleaze my armor. I'm not going to stand here and let you tear at my armor. I don't know. It was so weird.
This is a $200 million film, and those effects were $5. I mean, they were, if you saw them in the trailer, you haven't seen the movie, it's that bad. It's all shot in the dark. You can barely see anything. And by the way, Cheetah can flip around. And again, logic gets lost. So they have this big, huge fight, and Cheetah's kind of taking it to Wonder Woman pretty good. She's fucking up her armor, and Cheetah's swinging around on power lines that are active. And then she gets electrocuted in the water. It was just swinging on the power lines that were active. Now it just knocked her out. I thought it killed her. First of all, that's dark, but it didn't kill her.
It didn't kill her. It didn't kill her. I don't know why Wonder Woman wasn't flying in that scene. I mean, now she knows how to fly because she remembered after she renounces her wish. And Steve is gone. She remembers how he taught her to fly, which is really not woke, because a man should never be able to teach a woman anything.
I went right past that scene. We need to talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't woke. One thing that this movie did fairly and well is have Steve be useful throughout the movie. I mean, he is not like a manzel in distress. He gives as good as he gets and helps her, saves her. At one point, she's leaning on him like he's a crutch after she's wounded in the White House. So, again, I would argue this is not terribly woke. It's
not. It's got feminist themes in it, but it's not bogged down by them because of the reverence to Steve. All the other men are shit. I mean, complete shit. And the whole message of Max Lord is bad fathers make more bad fathers, make more bad fathers. And of course, we don't bring up the mother in this situation at all because they're never responsible for anything. But what Steve was treated with respect. And I think that had a lot to do with, with Patty Jenkins, whatever. I don't know if she had a relationship with her dad. I don't know when he died or whatever, but I think that definitely had something to do with it. Yeah. But when, they have good chemistry. I understand why they brought him back. And like you said earlier, there's a million different ways you could permanently bring him back and just have him be back. There's nothing, just have him be back. But what they did at the end, though, ends up kind of undoing that in a way. What they did in the first movie with those two was great. And there was a good scene between them when he's saying goodbye. He says, listen, she said, I want to say goodbye. I'll never love again. He's all, no. You got a whole life ahead of you. And you've already said goodbye. I'm already gone. I'm already dead. And she walks away and he says, wherever you go, I'll love you. And she says, I love you too. I renounce my wish. Then her powers automatically come back. And it's a good scene. And then she automatically heals, and then she runs down the street and jumps and she starts flying. And then the symbolism of that, it can both be a decent scene, but you can't miss the fucking symbolism because it wasn't subtle. It was, once you renounce the D, you are free to fly. You are free of the shackles of the patriarchy. And I'm like, I started laughing. And my wife was wondering why I was laughing. I'm all, you didn't get that at all? She's all, what? Yes, of course. The penis is a prison. My wife is funny. So we were laughing through that scene where we probably shouldn't have, because it was the part where she was like raging and running. That was cool. It was the all of a sudden I can fly part. I'm like, whoa, where is this going? And now but is it flying or gliding? Because
how did she get up there?
She jumped really high. Well, no, she whipped her lasso, and I guess she treated it kind of like Thor Mjolnir, because it's Thor like throws Mjolnir, and that's how he flies. Right. So maybe the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, it's a bit of a haze, but I don't know. She seemed like she could. Seemed like she could fly. I mean, towards the end, remember she just shot straight up in the air.
Yeah. Didn't know fly. She started doing the Superman stuff, and
she can fly.
She could fly. It just went on too long. I mean, like, fine, have Wonder Woman flies. It's fine. I don't care. But it just went on way too long. And then back to that battle scene at the end. So after she fights Cheetah, right, which was, they needed to have that fight there because the finale of the movie is talking somebody out of something.
Yes, that's it.
It's Pedro Pascal screaming at a light and Diana talking him down. That's
right. And what kind of villain renounces his villainy and ends with him hugging his kid? I just
doesn't go to jail. What happened to Cheetah? She stops being Cheetah. Did they leave her there? I don't know. And then Max Lord ends up back from wherever the hell he was. I don't know how he got there so fast, back into Washington, and he happens to just run across his kid who's hiding in the woods somewhere.
Yeah. He's just like, he knew. It's just like, hey, I hope I get lucky. I'm heading down to the park.
Yeah.
I hear he likes to hang out down there, but of course I don't know much about my kid or his whereabouts, but let's give it a shot. Hey. And there he was. Good guess. Good guess.
And then Diana looks at a balloon and the movie's over. No, there's a couple things that happen, but that's how it ends. She looks at a balloon and the movie fucking ends. But she decides to flirt it up with the guy who Steve was taking for a ride a little bit.
Yeah.
And they have a little conversation. Then she looks at the balloon and the movie ends.
Yes. And she's smirking at him thinking, I've seen you naked, but you haven't seen me naked.
He's gonna
poor guy.
Is there something familiar? And no, that's kind of a bummer.
That would suck to slept with Gal Gadot and not be able to remember. That's just even meaner than never sleeping with Gal Gadot at all.
Like Dante's seventh layer of hell shit right there. That's mean. And there's a mid-credit scene where you find out who the Amazon warrior with the armor was, and that was cool. I like this scene. This was probably my favorite part of the movie, was Linda Carter coming back and looking great. And that was cool. I like that a lot. But I'm a fan of what my dad used to, my dear old dad, who's passed away 20 years this year, his favorite show was Wonder Buns. Wonder Buns was his favorite show. He watched, I don't think he cared one bit about the plot. I don't think he could have told you one story, but he saw every episode. He watched it.
Yeah. She was something. She was gorgeous. And Gal Gadot is a very, very worthy successor. No doubt about it. I mean, she's not stacked like Linda Carter, but her beauty is just astonishing.
Like I said, she's graceful. She's classy. She's a classy dame, that one. So I think she's likable. I mean, there's and that's important. When they cast Brie Larson for Captain, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. As like, let's find the most annoying actress we can find for this role that we need to win a lot of people over with. Oh, Brie Larson, that's good.
Yeah, they were looking at the list and saying, fucked up feet, flat ass, check.
Yep. Yeah. God. Oh, Marvel. I want DC to succeed. That's my desire. I want them to make good movies that we all enjoy. I know they've had a choppy history because this studio, Doomcock, you've been a comic fan a long time. Warner Brothers has never figured out what they have. They do the same thing with their cartoons. They own all these properties, and they've mistakenly, fallen into hits with Nolan in the past. But for the most part, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they never have, no matter who owns them, AT&T or Time or whatever. They've never known what to do with Batman or Superman outside of sell fucking underwear and products. And, they've left DC Comics alone for the most part. And it worked until they started meddling. Then they let all the SJWs in, and now we're on the precipice of the apocalypse of comics. A third bloodbath is coming to DC in about a week. And
oh, really?
Oh God, they're probably going to quit publishing altogether by the end of the year. And if they do publish, it will be through other publishers. They'll farm them out basically. And it's over for the pamphlet basically. And DC is going to be the one to do it. And that's their source material. So they can't be fucking up their movies because that's what they need to make the most of money off. Now they announced a Wonder Woman 3 sequel today. I know. I think that's marketing. We'll see if that actually works out or not. One of the things I was wondering is why didn't Warner Brothers wait till after Wonder Woman to announce their entire schedule on the streaming service? And the answer to that is they're desperate and they're $160 billion in debt. That's exactly why they did it. They need it to work. They know the theaters aren't going to be open and they know they're going to have a streaming service. So they might as well go for broke and see if they can get as many subs as possible. And I'm sure it worked. I'm sure they got subs. They didn't charge any extra for this movie. They are to be credited for that. I like that. That's good. And that's going to be something that sells me on it. If I'm going to be able to watch all these movies for the subscription price, sure. I don't know how you pay for a $200 movie, $200 million movie with this though. I don't know how that continues. We'll have to see. The theaters
you can't, man. You can't do it. I mean, how many people are going to subscribe just because of that? It would have to be a lot to make it worthwhile. I mean, movies like this are costly, although they didn't spend too much on special effects this time around, apparently.
I guess not.
That's good. But holy crap, man. I mean, how many people are subscribing because of Wonder Woman 84 that wouldn't have already been subscribing? They already have a big subscriber base for HBO. But
they didn't transfer over.
Yeah, this is not a sustainable marketing model. I mean, this is really just kind of a default because they had these bunch of movies that were just sitting there gathering dust, I reckon. I mean, but moving forward, is this something that actually can work? Or is this really kind of, the end of the cinema as we know it? Because, Jesus, no more blockbusters. No more blockbusters again. I mean, didn't I read something about they were trying to put a positive spin on Wonder Woman 84 in theaters, trying to say that it has the biggest post-COVID gross of any movie. It made 16 million or some shit like that, which is like, huh? Really?
Wow. That is,
I mean, I that's off the top of my head. I just glanced at the article, but
listen, they got to try to spin it as much as they can. And that's the interesting thing about this new era is the democracy of the box office is gone now. And there's a lot to be said about hiding your numbers. And the only way we're going to be able to judge if anything's a success is if we're talking about it, like I know Star Trek Discovery is not a success because nobody fucking talks about it. They can throw out whatever fucking numbers they want. And they don't. You notice they don't throw a lot of numbers out because they have to tell the truth when they throw out those numbers. They cannot be lying. Now they can fudge it as much as they want and they can count canceled subscribers and stuff, but they can't outright lie. But they're going to be able to hide a lot. So we're not going to know. And that'll be interesting because, like Doctor Who, they would still be trying to they're trying to push Doctor Who as a success. And dude, we're like, you guys do see your ratings, right? I mean, your ratings are shit. Nobody likes your show, but you keep acting like there's nothing wrong here. And I don't know how long you can keep doing that with the public because we can see this stuff instantly now. So it depends on your tolerance for bullshit, I guess.
Yeah.
We're going to read some super chats from for Wonder Woman or whatever came in after Wonder Woman. And we'll get to our next subject, but overall, okay. So what would be your punishment for Wonder Woman 1984?
It really was not obnoxious. It was just inept, slow, boring, misguided. It's just misguided, thinks it's important, but to keep you vultures happy, I shall flog it. So I have quoted Jesus Christ Superstar, a flogging. That is
Flogging. There you go.
My sentence. Not a whole lot. Like 10 lashes or something. It's not even worth. It's just it's just so lame, dude. It's just so lame, but not really that woke. Although there was feminism in it that was kind of, but it was so passive aggressive and redundant. I mean, the scene where Kristen Wiig like kicks a couple of times the harassing white guy in the suit and tie. It was almost perfunctory. It was almost phoned in. I mean, we've seen this scene so many times in these movies, and it was just like, okay, and here's the obligatory guy gets his comeuppance scene, and okay, yeah, I don't know. That's all I can really work up in terms of animus. I mean, and it gave me a few laughs because it was so inept. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not worked up about it or anything. I think it's just a garden variety average bad movie. It's boring. Yeah, there's a little feminism. It's not that woke. It's way too fucking long. I will never watch it again. I will not own it. And I love a lot of superhero movies, and I forgive a lot of superhero movies. I don't ever want to see another second of this again. And it's a waste of a great Wonder Woman. Warner Brothers has arguably, I mean, some of the best for their top three for the Trinity. I love their casting. Love it. Now, Ezra Miller can go. Jesse Eisenberg can go. But everybody else I am completely cool with their casting as far as the Snyderverse goes. Pretty soon we're going to have a Jar Jar Abrams Superman, which I'm sure will give, I'll get a lot of content. I'm sure you will too, because I'm going to fucking lose my shit. But Henry Cavill is a great Superman. Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman. And yes, Ben Affleck is a great Batman. It's great Batman and damn good Bruce Wayne. And I would like to see all three of them get respect, get their time, let their director get competent directors to come in and see their visions all the way through without any studio meddling. And I think they could make a lot of money if Warner Brothers would just back the fuck off. They never do, though. They don't know. I mean, again, like I was saying earlier, they have the best cartoons, and they can't fucking figure that out. They have some of the best heroes, a catalog that's equal to Marvel. Now, a lot of people say superior, but I'll say equal. And they never know what to do. They could do a shared universe. They could have done it in the 80s. What's taking them so long? They didn't even have the vision to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, they were thinking about having a crossover with like Michael Keaton and the Superman Returns with Burton and stuff, but they never really did it. And that fans would have gone crazy then.
Yeah.
So, you're dealing with people who don't understand fandom, will never understand fandom. And that's an unfortunate thing. And then you have a corporation that's got an itchy trigger finger and that's feeling very nervous because there's somebody coming to bust their kneecaps. It's called a federal government.
Yeah. And I mean, well, you get that much in debt. Pretty soon, Rocky Balboa is going to come by. Mr. God was just going to break your thumbs. You don't pay him back the $120 billion.
I didn't want to break his thumbs. He said he was going to pay it back.
Let me do the thinking, all right, Rock? Let me do the thinking, all right?
God damn, some movies so good. I had some time watching those, man. By the way, I agree. I'm just a few lashes. Patty Jenkins is not the next coming director. Just name a director. She's not the female Spielberg. She's not the female Donner. She's just Patty Jenkins. And we'll see how she does with Cleopatra and the Star Wars movie. And we'll see if she even directs Wonder Woman 3. My guess is she doesn't. She produces it. We'll find out.
Well, I just hope somebody else writes it.
Oh, God.
Somebody else writes it and get some special effects guys. Get some guys that know about gravity, that have lived on Earth at least most of their lives and understand how things fall and land. It would be good. I don't know. Maybe that's sexist of me or phobist or whatever to have a prerequisite of a terrestrial that understands gravity. But I don't know. I'm old fashioned that way.
Yes. that is okay. I'm looking for if anybody even has comments for Wonder Woman 1984. Here we go. I don't know what direction this goes in. So, yeah, it's all fine. Hail Inquisition, you guys are now my Sunday night entertainment. Gal Gadot is one classy broad. She is. That's a classy dame there. She's got legs up to her neck.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Her eyes sparkle. It's amazing.
Thank you, Louis the Plank, for $5. Roger Haynes for $1.99. He gives us a thumbs up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Captain Spire for $5. I'm at the point where Spock cross-circuiting to B is more exciting and riveting than most of these multi-million-dollar ball-busting blockbusters. Captain Spire, I agree. These billion-dollar blockbusters, I don't know. I've been a Star Trek fan and Doctor Who fan my entire life. They have never had the best special effects in the world. And I'm talking about the 60s and the 70s. I never needed that. I needed a good story. That's all I need is a good story. I do need to see my superhero in a superhero film, though. That's important.
And that's kind of I mean, again, call me old fashioned, but that seems like a really good idea. I don't know. In costume, not in some little, Nancy Drew spy outfit, going around having a rom-com mystery with her reincarnated boyfriend in another body. I don't know. Jesus, was a misfire. This thing was a real misfire.
And listen, when she's in her costume, she looks like fucking Wonder Woman, and Marvel is losing on this. If you've just look back over the last few years of Marvel, go look at the Wasp's costume. Look at Ant-Man's costume. Look at Hawkeye's costume. There's no difference. They're like these padded fucking motorcycle things that look generic as hell. There's nothing that stands out. Look at the covers of their latest Blu-rays. It's all this uniformity with everybody with their mask off now. And you can't even tell it's a Marvel fucking superhero movie anymore. And they're starting, this is the Disney-fying of it. And I knew this would happen. Everybody knew it would happen. The MCU was not started by Disney. They wouldn't know how to start something like this. If they were actually shown, they wouldn't know. That's why, it's great. As long as Jon Favreau's with Star Wars, you better fucking hang on to him, because if he's gone, that thing goes down the toilet. With Filoni there. It's you already see the MCU turning around, but fuck, Superman looks like Superman. Wonder Woman looks like Wonder Woman. Batman, the best cinematic costume is in Batman versus Superman. It looks like freaking Batman. It's gray. That's what it's supposed to look like. So, they did do some things right. It's identifying. You have to identify with your brand. You have to match with your brand. Iron Man wouldn't have worked for two things, obviously. Robert Downey Jr. and that Iron Man costume. One of the last things Stan Winston designed, apparently, or had a say in the design anyway. Mansplainer for $9.99. The Expanse gives the most realistic depiction of us in space. No enlightened utopia, and flawed as ever. Still loving Tilly's mushroom friend. Beautiful. Tilly's mushroom friend is very good in The Expanse. Very, very good. Holy crap, was she good. Why was Wonder Woman not affected the same way Barbara was by the electricity if they are both at the same power level? Shouldn't she have had been knocked out too? Mr. Bentham? Yeah, I assume she's imbued with the, she's godlike. She's Thor level power. So I kind of was okay with her not getting knocked out, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. There was no logic in this film at all.
No, throw that out the window. Didn't even look for that. It was kind of an embarrassment, to be honest. Although I guess when she swung on the power cable, she wasn't touching the sparking end of it. And as we know, birds can sit on power cables without getting electrocuted. But once it went in the water, it would jump in there. Hell, Wonder Woman swings on lightning bolts with her lasso. So I guess
she's fine. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the armor was a insulator. I don't know.
I just figure she's godlike, so she can handle that stuff.
But then so is Kirsten Wiig, or she wanted to be different. Maybe when she was Cheetah, she wanted to be superior, except insofar as the fine print read, except for electricity. So maybe she should have read the fine print of the trade before she made it. I don't know.
For 5 Austrian pesos from HH says Cheetah is not an apex predator in its environment. Far from it. It's not. I mean, I don't know. Well, a cheetah, what would be if a cheetah was up against like a tiger would kick a cheetah's ass, right? I mean, they're bigger.
I think they're in the veldt, right? So I mean, a lion would probably be the apex predator for a cheetah, but smart Alec, a cheetah in New York. Well, then, and I'm just saying.
Well, except for those, 6-foot rats that are down in the sewers.
Pizza rat would kick her ass.
Yep. CJ for $9.99. I'm confused. What happens if someone wants the same thing? Or what if they wish off a person or what if they wish off a person is what if the wish off a person is a polar opposite of the other? What if you want world peace? Next person wants Armageddon? That's a good question. Somebody probably would have wished for world peace at one point, but that was supposed to be the nihilist view. We'd all ask for these selfish things. But honestly, if you have world peace, you're probably going to live a pretty good life. It might be a good thing to wish for. And there's going to be some hippie out there who wishes for it.
I don't like to wish for world peace. I like to wish for shredded spinach.
Shredded spinach.
Because not world peas.
Oh.
A little dad joke for the holidays, folks.
Here all week, try the veal. Nicholas Horton for £5. The 70s Wonder Woman show handled the Steve Trevor thing better, involving the time skip. Yep. Yeah, they did. I don't remember exactly how they did it. I just thought he just showed up and he looked like Steve Trevor, or I have no idea what they did. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched that show, but I do remember the first season took place in World War II, and then the rest of it took place in the 70s. Because I don't know why they did that. I'm gonna have to look into that. Mark C is probably out there. He probably knows. Insanity Pepper for $5. Thanks to Diana, somewhere a young Bruce Wayne had to give back his wish and lose his parents again. No wonder saying Martha gets him so upset. Oh, by the way, I didn't bring up that they fucking cycled the Batman versus Superman, Bruce Wayne falling into and his parents and the Wayne's dying music. That was all recycled music. And now Hans Zimmer, you're a soundtrack guy. I'm a soundtrack guy. Hans Zimmer does repeat stuff over and over. That's what he does. And he likes to reuse stuff. And that's fine. I like Hans Zimmer. I think he's very good. And I thought the music was okay. But yeah, you reuse that? What the hell? At the end?
Well, shit. He knew this was a bargain production. And, he already spent enough time on it. He said, to hell with it. This is no Inception. I'm not going to, do my Inception grade stuff. In fact, I've often thought if I'm a composer and I'm working on a movie and I write something that is like epic, like really, really epic, I might just set that aside for a better grade of movie or a higher paycheck or something. Just put that in the bank and phone in something else, for Wonder Woman 84, since they're probably paying him bargain basement prices, given, everything that's gone on with it. I don't know. It's just a hypothesis.
That's a good hypothesis, man. I have no explanation for a lot of this stuff. Scotty S says for $4.99, the stolen jet was Steve's Mary Sue scene. No flight hours in the jet, unfamiliar airport, fuel capacity, international airspaces. Shake my head. The invisible jet gets around some of that, but not all of it. And how'd they refuel on the way back, Gary? Yeah, exactly. In the field that they were in.
Right. And it was invisible. Can she make it uninvisible? I assumed it's just invisible. I don't know. Can she turn it on or turn it off? How are you going to see to refuel it? You get off of it, and then where's the plane? I don't know. Ask me.
they barely, like I said, I had to rewind to go see how did they get back? How did they get back? And like everybody was complaining. Then I had to rewind because it was like me and the kids and the wife and the brother, my brother-in-law sitting around our Christmas tree watching this. It was cool how we watched it. I have this HD projector that I've never used. I bought it. I paid way too much for it a long time ago for my comic shop to replace my other projector, which I never used. So I broke this out for the first time in 7 years or something like that. And it worked. I watched it in a giant wall. So it was almost like watching it on a big screen, which was cool. It was such a shitty movie. We watched Die Hard after that, and that was much better.
Oh yeah.
Nakatomi Plaza. I'm on full Attack on Titan mode right now, and Doomcock's new pick reminds me of the Colossal Titan, says Ultra Raider 52 for $6.99. There you go. Attack on Titan is a trip. It's a trip.
I haven't seen it, but I've been told I should watch it.
You should. It's disturbing. It's really disturbing. These giant things come and eat people. These giant eunuchs run around and eat people. The Donut King for $5. All hail Nerdrotic, hail Doomcock. B-52 and SR-71 can make it. B-52s and SR-71s can make it. But was that a jet?
A fighter jet?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, the SR-71
bomber.
Yeah.
I mean, a bomber has to have long range capacity, but they still do have to get refueled in the air.
Yep.
From what I understand, but there's no way that it's just a fighter jet is going to be able to make that trip. I don't think so.
Refueling in the air. That is crazy.
It is.
And like they do it like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 6 turning, 4 burning for $5. Wonder Woman comic and 70s TV show. First season was Wonder Woman comic and 70s TV show. First season was WW2. Movie was WW1. Yes, movie was World War I. That's what, but it was like I was confused when I was watching the movie too, because I just like, okay, he could figure out how to fly the plane, and then I'm like, wait a minute, he flew a biplane. There's no way you could jump into a fucking jet after flying a biplane. I mean, I'm not a pilot. I'm just guessing they're completely fucking different.
Yeah. Extremely. One's like flying a kite. The other's more like flying a rocket. It's just no comparison.
Yeah. I mean, so thank you, 6 turning, 4 burning for $5. Cornelius Brunius for $5. She stopped the men in the speeding car, the male jewelry thieves, but seems to ignore shoplifting girls that knocked the bride off the bridge. Oh yes, I did notice that. Yes, the girls got to steal while all the guys got beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Because girls just want to have fun. Karen, which in residence for 5 Canadian pesos. The jet runs on Anita Sarkeesian's hate of men, so it never runs out of fuel. No, it doesn't. Everything is racist. Everything is sexist. Blah, 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 blah. Grandpappy Fisk for $5. Little Bruce Wayne wished to have his parents back, but the mean lady on TV made him renounce his wish. I love it. That is great. Yeah. Who brought that up? By the way, what happened to the I haven't been Wonder Woman for like 100 years from Batman versus Superman?
Oh, I don't know. I never watched Batman versus Superman, so I can't.
She had not been Wonder Woman for 100 years. That was the only reason. Okay, this movie wasn't supposed to exist. They were only supposed to have the first Wonder Woman movie to flesh out Justice League. I don't think they thought in a million years that Wonder Woman would be the one that made $1 billion, but it did.
Right.
And because it was fucking popular and it was good, and that's fine. And then what do? They try to detach themselves as much as possible from the $1 billion movie. That is logic I don't get. I mean, yeah, sure, you shit can the franchise, but since then you've reignited the franchise, and quite frankly, it's the only fucking new thing you've got right now. You've got a Game of Thrones show that's coming out 2 years from now. And what else you got? Nothing. What's What's their other superhero movie coming out? Oh, this one I want to see. The Suicide Squad.
Oh, right. James Gunn. Yeah.
I'm looking more forward to that than any Marvel movie. Except for yeah. And the only other Marvel movie I'm looking forward to is from Sony. It's not from Marvel. It's Morbius. I think Morbius looks pretty good. Negative for $4 gives us a cupper. Thank you very much. Appreciate it for the $4. Steve Fernald says World War II, guys, but no, it's World War I for $2. Mr. Millennium for US, but thank you for $5. Question for you guys for the DCU video I'm writing. From your recollection, what was the reaction from people when MOS and BVS were announced? Thanks. MOS. What's MOS?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Sorry. What was my the reaction? BVS wasn't announced. Okay, so when Man of Steel was announced, people were excited. People were absolutely excited. Nolan was going to be involved. People liked the guy, Henry Cavill. This is how I remember it, and that was announced when I had a shop. So we were very excited, and right up until the film, there was hype. The soundtrack, I remember when they released the theme, people were loving it. So but remember, I was in a comic shop, Mr. Millennium, so that's like your core audience. There was a ton of hype for Man of Steel. Ton. Mm-hmm. When Batman versus Superman was announced, there was a lot of skepticism, and the news came by my comic shop to interview us about Ben Affleck. And I said, I'm open to it. I'm honestly open to it. I know everybody hates Ben Affleck. I don't. I think he actually looks like Bruce Wayne. And the one thing that stuck in my head with Ben Affleck was I know for a fact he read comic books. Mm-hmm. He's actually read comic books. So I was like, okay with it. But I don't remember there being a ton of excitement. I remember there being skepticism. And there was people excited too, but it wasn't like when they first announced or when they announced like Spider-Man 2 or something like that. It wasn't that kind of announcement. What do you remember, Doomcock?
Not much. I mean, I don't terribly get excited about movie release news unless it's really something that I've been waiting for a long time or something. And it's just another Superman movie, another Batman movie. Okay, whatever. Well, we'll see. I mean, I've not been a huge fan of, Snyder's kind of vision of superheroes. I think it's a little too dark, and I don't like the muted colors on the costumes and just the whole look of the thing. So, I mean, it's like, okay, I'll wait and see. And then, I tried to watch Man of Steel and the opening of it, on Krypton with all the crazy garbage. I don't know what the hell was going on in that. I was like, yeah, okay, I don't know. And then, of course, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor was that was my ticket out. But I have heard subsequently that I should see Batfleck because he was quite good. So I may go ahead and take a look at Batman v Superman. I don't know. Maybe I can fast forward over the Lex Luthor stuff, or is he just in it too much?
I know he's a big part of it, and he drags the movie down to ridiculously bad levels. I'm sorry. Yeah. Fans, I'm a fan of Snyder. Y'all know I'm a fan of Snyder. Eisenberg is fucking terrible in that movie. Right. And
I was watching it the other night on cable for the first time, and I was enjoying it up until he came on the screen, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to bed. So I don't know.
Man of Steel, out of the DCEU movies, Wonder Woman's the best for the first.
I love that.
Man of Steel's my second favorite. I don't mind it. He does something at the end that I fundamentally have a problem with, but I know the Snyder Cut fans are fine, and I understand the logic in this film. I do. I get it. Not a fan of it, but I get it. And I like Henry Cavill as Superman. The only problem with that movie is it's just it's not a hopeful film. It's not a fun film.
Right.
It's very dark. And And if I hear one more damn argument about this is the Superman from post 1986 and not the Silver Age Superman, please don't even try to talk to me about Superman. Okay. The Superman post 1986 wasn't like that either.
No.
And I've read the comic books. It wasn't even close to John Byrne's Man of Steel. Is that what you're trying to equate it to? Because it's nothing like that at all. John Byrne knows more about Superman than pretty much anybody ever will, outside of anybody. John Byrne is one of those few creators who's an actual comic book fan, a nerd. So I would never question that guy at all about anything. But
I wouldn't either, man. And my thing was, look, I'm a big fan of Superman too. So, the idea of seeing a revamped General Zod did not blow, subway air up my skirt. You know what I'm saying? It just did not excite me. So that's why I do like Henry Cavill a lot. I thought he was, I think he's fantastic in The Witcher. And he probably could be a really good Superman, but not scowling and killing people,
Yeah. But I mean, the Man of Steel is clearly the second best film. And after that, I mean, Batman versus Superman, if you're going to watch it, watch the director's cut. It is far superior than the one you saw in there. I like the first 15 minutes of Suicide Squad. I think inside of Suicide Squad, I think I would very much like to see an air cut. I would definitely love to see an air cut. I think there can make something out of that. And we'll see. We'll see with Justice League. But my mind is open because I think the casting is so good with Ben Affleck and Cavill and Gal Gadot, and they were very good together. If they would just put those three in a movie and keep out fucking Ezra Miller, I mean, I'm sorry, Snyder Cut fans, there's no human being alive who will be able to talk me into Ezra Miller being a good Flash. That is just wrong on every fundamental level. And Jesse Eisenberg is not a good Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's not a little fucking 20-year-old or 30-year-old. Lex Luthor's a grown-ass man, and that's what he's supposed to be. So we'll see. We'll see if they survive without that. But those two things do hamper what could be pure joy. Because like the Batman scenes, there's like a fight scene where he takes on a building full of people and saves Martha, and it's fucking great. It's cool as hell. Yeah, he breaks an arm here and there. I don't care. He's Batman. And he's the closest we got to a fully realized, just a little past his prime, but I want to see a Batman in his prime. I've said this over and over again, with a fully functional Batcave, a fully functional Alfred, a fully functional Robin who's not dead, a Batgirl, a fucking Nightwing. I want the whole Bat family and the Batmobile and a full rogues gallery of villains that's locked up in Arkham, and maybe two of them are out right now and he's got to foil them. We've never seen that. We've never ever seen that in a film. We've seen it in they've done it pretty damn well in video games, and that might be one of the best representations of Batman out there. They've done it great in the animated series, of course, which is the best. I mean, it's the best thing outside of comics. Okay, that moves. All right, it's not live action; it's animated. But and if you just followed the animated series, that's a pretty simple formula there. Batman is not, what Hollywood loves to do with the guy? They like to ground him. They're like, we need to ground. He's the most grounded and believable super. No, he's not. He's the most ridiculous superhero. He's utterly ridiculous. He is not super powered. He flies around with a bat costume on, taking on these really bizarre villains. It's supposed to be a little otherworldly. It's supposed to be a little different. And that's what they always miss with Batman to me. But what do I know? I'll get a comment on this video. This guy doesn't know shit about comics, which is my favorite comment of all. You're right. I don't know anything. I thought they'd have the Enterprise space shuttle in the museum after Steve seen the poster that triggered that sequence, but that's too clever. That you're right, Emperor Pigeon. 5 pounds.
That's what I thought at the time. I was thinking, they ought to show him looking at the Enterprise in the Smithsonian. Although, hell, for all we know, they didn't even go to the Smithsonian, for all we know. I mean, It could have been just like mocked up in another building or something. And I love that what's his name? Max Lord was saying, Christian Wiig was saying, and we gave him the tour of the Smithsonian today. And it's like, dude, the Smithsonian is unbelievably massive. There's no way you could see it in a day. No way. No way. It was just, that was dumb.
No,
Which makes me think maybe they've never even seen the Smithsonian.
Yeah, when my wife was planning a trip, we never went, but the trip was to be there for a week. You know, and I went to the British museums, and it took me 2 weeks to get through those. So, and I'm sure they're comparable. You're right. Okay, so Mikey Gusler, who is the biggest fan of the Snyder Cut outside of Ryan Cannell, maybe I think he's a bigger fan, for $5 says, Angry Joe, another YouTuber, you might have heard of him, wants a JJ to direct Man of Steel 2. Thinks JJ is competent, thinks The Force Awakens is amazing, and doesn't blame JJ for the fault of the sequel trilogy or the fall of Skywalker. Angry Joe's wrong. And Mikey Gusler, and he has every right to be wrong. And a lot of people agree with this wrong opinion. He's got what, millions of subs. Doomcock and I are just here with our piddly little hundreds of thousands of subs, which we are very grateful for, by the way. I don't really
absolutely.
But I understand that, like, we are no Angry Joe on this platform. I would just say,
I've never watched him. I don't know.
When it comes to this issue, he is wrong, and I think it's just a matter of taste. I think to be a trusted critic, you have to have respected taste. You don't have to agree with people all the time on everything. I don't. Like Red Letter Media, Doomcock, Critical Drinker, Mahler, Rags. These are people I listen to and trust when it comes to, if they recommend me a movie, I'm going to go see it. Like if the people I just talked to you, if they recommend me something, I'm going to go see it. Do I agree on everything? No, but I agree that they have good taste, that they know quality when they see it. Angry Joe, when you say you like The Force Awakens, and then The Rise of Skywalker, I question your taste at that point. So I'm not going to follow your recommendation. That's my personal feelings on it. Doesn't mean
I agree entirely. I haven't watched Angry Joe. I guess I won't be, because J.J. Abrams is a cinematic antichrist. I've said it many times before. I say it again. On the walls of the Inquisition, when you enter the gate, Jar Jar Abrams' name is up above on the stone on top of the doorway. In lieu of "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here," it just says J.J. Abrams, which is essentially the same thing. Whenever J.J. Abrams' name is on a film, abandon hope when you enter the theater that it will be good.
Absolutely. Out of the whole fandom menace, obviously Rianne Johnson is persona non grata number one. Well, Kathleen Kennedy, then Rianne Johnson. For me personally, Jar Jar Abrams is worse than Rianne Johnson. Rianne Johnson was a hired gun that was allowed to destroy Luke Skywalker because of the lack of plan from Kathleen Kennedy and nothing provided to him from Jar Jar Abrams. Now, there's been some retconning in history, and I don't know if this is true, that he had a treatment that they didn't use, which is possible. But remember, The Force Awakens was made without a script. They wrote the script as they were fucking filming the fucking movie. They had no plan. Daisy Ridley came out and said they had no plan. Now, they could have written a treatment that he shit canned. It doesn't matter. Jar Jar Abrams laid the foundation of sand. Right? Rianne Johnson is an asshole, and he deserves all the fucking criticism he gets. But JJ doesn't get enough, in my opinion. He fucking made that mess more than Rianne Johnson because he was there for 2 fucking movies. And guess what? The first one sucked too. It had a shitty death of Han Solo, and they treated him just as bad, if not worse, than Luke Skywalker. I mean, Han Solo just walked to his death on a fucking ramp with no little railings or anything and walked right into a lightsaber. That was stupid as fuck. He reverted back to his 20-something-year-old self in his 70s. They made him a bad father. They shit all over that character in that film. Fuck no. Force Awakens is as bad as the right. They're all bad. They're all bad. The whole Disney trilogy sucks shit.
They really are. They're just like horrendous little turds left in the path of Star Wars viewers. And Jar Jar Abrams has destroyed more pop culture pound for pound than just about anyone else in the world, being involved in the destruction of the Star Wars franchise, being involved in the destruction of Star Trek. Jesus Christ, all of his acolytes that have spread out from Bad Robot, like cancerous tendrils throughout Hollywood, ruining things like Lost. He corrupted his own show on Alias. Never had an ending for that. It went down the toilet. It's just instance after instance after instance. And now he is going to Warner Brothers, and he is going to have access to all of that. And the idea of Jar Jar fucking Abrams doing a Superman movie ought to chill the blood of any superhero fan, because God knows what he will do. God knows. Well, you can read his Superman flyby script to get an idea of Jar Jar Abrams' deep fucking understanding of Superman. But oh my God, now, well, I read that he's looking for a screenwriter to do it. So I guess they're not going to use that script for whatever reason. Thank God. You can thank God for that. But then you, on the same breath, utter a prayer, because whatever he's going to do, I bet you it's going to be worse. I bet you it's going to be worse somehow. That's my feeling.
It will be. And I have been warning people about this since he signed with Warner Brothers. I said he's coming for the DCEU. He wants to be Kevin Feige. That's the one prize he doesn't have. And this dude has a massive fucking ego. Why do you think he goes straight for the big shit? And he's done nothing to fucking earn any of this shit. And I can't, sorry, one fucking good Mission Impossible movie doesn't allow you the keys to the castle for Star Trek, fucking Star Wars, and DC Comics. Bullshit.
No.
Matthew Vaughn is a better director. He should be fucking running that shit. He's got better ideas. His ideas were the best ideas, even in the shitty fucking X-Men movies. Kelsey Grammer as Beast. That was fucking Matthew Vaughn. That was his fucking idea. So, I mean, and then he got out of the project. No, there's people who are much, much more competent, know what the fuck they're doing. JJ will turn Superman into Jar Jar Abrams Superman so he can get some kind of piece in the pie, because he doesn't give a fuck about these characters. He cares about expanding his business and his empire. This is a guy who used Me Too Time's Up, took advantage of a genuine movement where women were getting abused in Hollywood and used it to attain power. He's a piece of shit.
Yes.
Need to wake up to this.
I don't know, man. Angry Joe apparently hasn't, whoever Angry Joe is. But the thing is, Jar Jar Abrams, judging from what he did with BB-8, I wouldn't be surprised if his the extent of his creative ideas for Superman is to take his diamond insignia, make it a square, take the S away and put an M in there, emphasizing the man. And then make him of color and or a woman.
No, yeah. I promise you it's going to happen. I promise you. Henry Cavill will be the last Superman that looks like Superman. Ben Affleck or Sparkle Boy. What's his name?
Yes, Edward. Oh my God,
I'm getting his name.
Edward. I was thinking of his name in
Sparkle
Twilight.
Boy.
Edward. Sparkle Boy. Edward.
Sparkle Boy from Twitter, from Twilight and Twitter, is going to be the last Batman that, well, kind of looks like Robin playing Batman. Hail the Inquisition. Condemn this film to the center of the earth, says M. Tax Shark for $5. I will, but at least Wonder Woman looks like fucking Wonder Woman and acts like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Jar Jar.
I didn't hate it. There were many things about it that it just made me want to give up and just stop thinking. But overall, I did not loathe it with the burning hatred of an STD or a Captain Marvel. Gal Gadot is too genial for that. She alone makes it not an entire waste of time. Although, honestly, if you have anything else to do, including cleaning your shower, I would do that first.
Yeah. Like Margot Robbie's a good Harley Quinn. but they managed to make her like annoying in
Right.
Birds of Prey, but she's still a good Harley Quinn. I will acknowledge that. I think she's perfect for it. I think she was just following the trend and whatever. And you don't want your stars to have creative control over these things that they don't give a fuck about. I think Patrick Stewart proved that. Patrick Stewart, played the great Sir Patrick Stewart played the great Captain Picard and didn't know shit about his own character. Didn't care. Couldn't wait to get off that fucking thing. Couldn't wait to get out of Star Trek at all. Then he came back for, I don't know why he took this payday. And I think he did it to destroy his character. I think that was his only motivation. He didn't need the fucking money.
I think he must need it for a sex change operation. Since he took the Uber Eats commercials, that suggests a level of desperation, hitherto unexpected.
Do you think he's broke? Maybe he's broke.
He might be broke in some way. Bad investments.
Yeah.
Uber Eats is one of the worst embarrassments I think I've ever seen.
You know what? I don't know why that didn't cross my mind. I just had this assumption that Sir Patrick Stewart was probably, a pretty together guy. But
he should be loaded. Maybe he's the boxer, the actor equivalent of a boxer that pissed all his money away on bad investments, or maybe his kids are in trouble and need some kind of special shit. Who knows? But why would anyone humiliate themselves to the extent of doing those absolutely horrible Uber Eats commercials? I will never use Uber Eats. Never. I hate them that much. It's painful. It's painful. It's just fucking painful, man. It's not even necessarily a question of woke or not woke or anything. It just is incoherent. It's just awful, cringe, flop sweaty shit that, if you were watching someone do this on stage in a club, you yourself in your chair would break into sweats, just out of sympathy. Flop sweat. Good God, it's bad.
Oh, yeah. I understand Mark Hamill doing it. I can see, like, Mark Hamill he's not rich. He's probably got a decent amount of money from residuals, but he's not like making the fucking money Patrick Stewart was, because Patrick Stewart was at least acting and regularly working, right?
Yeah.
Mark Hamill was doing voice work, and I know, well, that doesn't pay like being in front of the camera. All right. It's a lower tier job. I mean, it's not money you want to scoff at, but let's just say Mark Hamill's probably not living in some $8 million home in Bel Air. He's probably living in like a $2 million home or something like that. Probably doing a little better now that Star Wars came back, but in his voice acting days, he was just probably like middle-class actor, maybe, and yeah, but Patrick needing to do that. Yeah.
That is not good.
Maybe. I don't know. But Mikey Gussler, you got a lot of money out of the you got a lot out of that super chat, my friend. Angry Joe, I disagree with him on a lot of stuff. He hopped on the Star Trek Discovery train like some other people have done a little late. He also hopped on the Picard train, and he is a Star Trek fan, he says, and he didn't like Picard either. So I will agree with him on that. We didn't like Picard. I don't know. He likes Star Trek Discovery though, Mikey Gussler. Don't forget, Angry Joe likes Star Trek Discovery. That's a benchmark. You like Star Trek Discovery? I ain't listened to it. I mean, I still be friends with you, but if you even make the slightest recommendation, I will not. Not on food, not on the best post office. Nothing. I will not listen to anything you say if you say you like Star Trek Discovery, because then we're on a different sphere. Obviously,
if you are a fan of Star Trek Discovery, you are aesthetically not noteworthy anymore, in my opinion. Your aesthetics are suspect.
Yes. I couldn't believe they pulled the girl with glasses and ponytail trope with Miss Minerva. Hell, not another teen movie even spoofed that. Glasses and ponytail, away the surprise. She's good looking. Exactly. Michael Beacon for $20. Kristen Wiig is not, she's not ugly. She's not. You needed to have a woman as attractive or at least on the same level as Gal Gadot. And there are women out there who are on the same level as Gal Gadot. who and Kristen Wiig is clearly not. And Cheetah is not supposed to be a throwaway villain either, but it's also hard to go to Cheetah after she's fought gods. I would have gone a totally different direction with it, but whatever. Mara J for £5 British. Snap that neck. Snap it. Black Tiger 001 for 20 Canadian pesos. Thought we remembered it. Nope. Diana woke up next to Steve Trevor talking about how he's in another man's body. She didn't care one bit. Hell, she was ready and willing to let him go back, back into her Themyscira, letting her go back into her Themyscira. Yes. He was he would have let her go. He was ready to go back to Paradise Island, and she was going to let him. And, then they had to get to work.
Yep.
Negative. Thank you for the cupper. My ex-wife. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. Elaine. Dixon Cider for $5. Can you, speaking of, going back to Paradise Island, Dixon Cider's back. Can you imagine any of the CW shows being made into movies? Please try not to. Well, I mean, this came close. There was some feelings and hallways in this one, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Gape Wonder Woman slept? Was it Gape that Wonder Woman slept with a possessed man? Not a band account for $1.99. I don't know. Was it?
What was it? Gabe? I don't understand.
It said Gape. It's YouTube speak to get around the algorithm. It's drape. It's what rhymes with grape.
Oh. Well, if it had been reverse, the women would be up in arms about it. But since men are just pieces of meat and are not worthy of respect or even the sovereignty of their own bodies, fuck them, right?
Oh, when women abuse young boys, the teachers, they get a slap in the wrist. They get an absolute slap in the wrist when they shouldn't at all. Digi Kuma, it doesn't matter what I would have thought when I was a 14-year-old kid. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm going to just shut up because as a 14-year-old kid, I would, yeah. So I'm just going to shut up.
I know. I understand that. As a 14-year-old kid, I probably wouldn't have said no too. But if a teacher touches my son, she better go away forever. I don't care how much my son will complain about it. Digi Akuma for $5. Which bad movie does Wonder Woman 1984 compare to? Superman 4, Highlander 2, or maybe even Batman and Robin, to name a few? I'd like to hear your thoughts. I
would say that it's not nearly as bad as Batman and Robin. Not nearly that bad. Batman and Robin is unwatchable. Highlander 2, maybe. I mean, Highlander 2 again was a movie so bad at the time that I thought we had reached the end of the road in terms of bad cinema. Little did I know I was an optimist at that point. It was so bad. My name is Connor McLeod. I was born 500 years ago on the planet Zeist, and I cannot die. And they kiss. It was just okay. And what was the other one? Superman 4. I haven't actually watched Superman 4, so I can't.
Oh, I'd watch Superman 4 50 times before I'd watch this movie again.
Okay.
And Superman 4 is like bad. It's a bad canon film, but it's got Christopher Reeve. It's got Gene Hackman. Yeah, I can watch it. It's got John Cryer in it too. It's bad, but it's got Christopher Reeve as Superman. I can watch that all day. Thanatos Felicitas for £5 for $5. Steve Austin is my spirit animal. That's a good spirit animal. We like Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Hail Lee Majors. Alpha Omega, who made an appearance in Ash versus Evil Dead as Ash's dad, and it's fucking awesome. Alpha Omega Records for £10. UK Christmas Day ratings, other than Queen's speech, were poor. 5 million for the most popular shows. Doctor Who is heading for a disaster at New Year. Yeah, people are legit pissed at the BBC. This is going, and it's starting to happen here in America too. You're starting to see ratings erode for our mainstream media and stuff because people are just I guess no matter what side you're on, we're fucking fed up with the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we are being fed some bullshit. So you stay true, my Brits. You keep doing that. You make those ratings go to fucking rock bottom. And the BBC is never going to turn around. They're not. They are going to go down in flames. They had plenty of opportunity to turn around. And they've even got the head out there going, maybe we should calm down. And people who work there just will not, because they are indoctrinated at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know why anyone would watch it, period. Why would anyone even want to watch it at this point? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, it's not even the question of having to stop yourself from watching it at a protest. What the hell is there to watch? Yeah. It's an embarrassment. It's an atrocity. There hasn't been one good fucking Jodie Whittaker episode. So, for fuck's sake, why would anyone care anymore? I don't get it.
I honestly don't know either. When I did my last Doctor Who video, it was just because I was pissed. I saw a couple of people send me the email, and I saw that tweet, and I'm like, these motherfuckers, they are just playing out a farce, and they don't care. They just flat out don't care. They're going to flip you the bird and go down doing it. Mm-hmm. And people are pissed still. And I think the special coming up has ignited a lot of feelings. The special is probably going to be boring as fuck. Mm-hmm. And they're probably not going to mention anything about the timeless children. Well, they said they're not. They're going to allude to it. And Jack's going to come back and besmirch his character. It's just
great.
Don't want to watch it for that, because I like Captain Jack quite a bit. And this is going to take away from all of his shit from Torchwood, by the way. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, even however you felt about about Miracle Day, remember how that ended. That ended dark. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's all, I'm happy-go-lucky Jack again. Boop, doop, doop. You know, it wasn't as dark as, season 3. I'm blanking on the name now. The really fucking good one. The really good season where they were plucking the children. I don't know why I'm.
Oh, yeah. But that was great.
Oh, I'm hungry.
That was something. That was really something, man.
Oh, that one was fucking great. Peter Capaldi was great in it. I watched that one over and over again, and I could not believe they made something like that. Chris Chibnall was involved in it, but Russell T. Davies was there. Mm-hmm. Hail Emperor Gary and Lord DVD. Thanks for saving me 2 to 3 hours of my life, and thanks for saving and holding the line on pop culture. You guys are an amazing present, and let's rock 2021. Thank you both. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man, for the 1999. It was great talking to you today, dude. I'm glad your stick is getting better. We love you, man.
Hail Mexican Iron Man. Love you, brother.
Oh God, this is killing me. I hate it when this happens. And
over on the holidays, I got a little behind on correspondence, and particularly on Twitter DMs. So, I mean, if you were wishing me Merry Christmas, I will be responding soon. A little late, obviously, but I did 2 live streams that day, so it was very, very busy. But it is coming, just to say. I apologize.
It's understandable. You have family stuff to do, and same here, by the way. I've been doing just tons of family stuff in between YouTubing and live streaming, and it's been fun. And anybody who sent a message, I will try to respond to every single one of them. Merry Christmas, Merry late Christmas to all of you, and Happy New Year. And let's hope 2021. I mean, it should be better. It should be better, but just one day at a time, man. That's all you can do, is one day at a time. At least we had each other. There were moments. At least we had moments, you know. Mm-hmm. You got to focus on the positive, and we got a big fight ahead of us next year, folks. So retool, reload, take a little break and get ready to go again. That's because the fight for our pop culture, for our entertainment, for our very freedom is it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. It's not one that somebody else is going to come in and take care of shit for us. It's not going to happen. We got to take care of it ourselves somehow, some way. Jagerbomb 2 for $5. Watch Girls' last tour. It's bittersweet in all the right ways. and whimsical look at Apocalypse. Watching The Expanse season 5, so far so good. Watch Girls Last Tour. What's that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is, Mom. I mean, I'll check it out, but I have no idea. So Expanse season 5 is fucking dope. It is fucking dope.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, there's so much interesting things going on this season. It's just wow, what a narrative.
Somebody, my wife just sent me something. Kat Von D is leaving California due to tyrannical government overreach. Well, that's good. Everybody's leaving California except you guys can all these like rich folks can get the hell out of here quickly. It takes me months. It's going to take me months. Still got months to go. Dr. Thmick for $5. It is the third day out of 12 of Christmas. December 25th is the first day and January 5th is the 12th. So Merry Christmas, Gary. Okay. Hey, however you want to see it, man. You do Christmas the way you do. I thought the 12 days were up till the 25th, but I could be wrong. But we got New Year's coming up, and apparently that's a big popular day to put your specials on the BBC. I think Doctor Who ratings, I was thinking they would spike a little bit because of Captain Jack, but they might tank, and that might be a good thing. That needs to happen, actually.
Mm-hmm.
NK33 for $5. If we sentence these hacks to endlessly watch each other's feces for eternity, does that count as a punishment, or is it just validation? That's a good
I find it hard to believe that they would enjoy that if they were subjected to it. But God knows, their pathology might be that pronounced. I don't know.
It might be. That's dark, man. That's dark, but it's a decent punishment. Let's talk about, we went all on Wonder Woman, and unfortunately I am on a time limit because of the family stuff, but let's briefly talk about The Expanse real quick, Doomcock. I fucking love that episode. It was, it was so good.
It was nonstop greatness. Boy, oh boy, am I sorry that apparently it's canceled and only getting one more season, because this is epic. Wow. Essentially, I guess at this point we can talk about it, talk about details. Terrorist, Belter terrorist, Marco Inaros, is that what his name is?
Marco Inaros. Yeah.
Inaros. That ties up the whole Bobby Draper subplot on Mars about the military getting out stealth tech and other Martian technology on the black market. They got some. They coated a giant asteroid in it, and by God, did that slingshotting stuff that those pilots do with an asteroid. And it whipped around, got close to the sun, broke apart into many pieces that would be easily missed by the tracker satellites. And if they had repurposed those tracker satellites from Mars to track the stealth kind of composites away from Mars, and like Avasarala wanted them to, they might have had a chance to stop this tragedy. But of course, nobody listens to the competent people. It's always the big mouths and the know-nothings that get everywhere. It was awful. It just, man, pelted Earth at the end of the last episode, and then holy shit, it wasn't over, folks. Not this episode. I thought it was incredible. Amos again, great scene with not Julie Mao, the other Mao girl. I forget her name, but she was the spooky assassin chick obsessed with killing Holden a couple of seasons back in a containment in a high-tech containment center. Amos goes in there to just to talk to her. I'm not sure entirely what his objective was in going there.
Well, it's from the book, so they had a connection that they might not have explained very well. They did a little bit in the previous season, but on the flight back, they connected. right? They connected, and he, he feels like responsible for her. So before, and they really give you context with Amos. He's a sociopath, so emotions are very strange to him. That's why he latched on to Naomi, because she was kind of his moral rudder. And then he went on to Holden. Now he's grown so much, he's really ready to kind of mentor and take care of somebody else who was thrown away. So what he's doing is he went back home to Baltimore, and he saw that he was basically a piece of trash that was to be thrown away. And then some woman who wasn't supposedly not one of the nicest people in the world, decided to take him under her wing and take care of him and he would have, by all means, would have gone out there and died. And he's deciding to pay that forward a little bit. He feels, and he was just initially going to say goodbye, to just show a little kindness to her when nobody else would. It was his last trip to Earth, and he just, and he did it in this Amos way. Is like, you're going to do time. It's not going to suck. It's not going to be fun. Own your shit. Live one day. Just survive. But then something happens. But what might have felt forced in the show, it didn't. They pulled it off. The Clarissa Mao character, I think she's miscast a little bit, personally.
Really?
She's too old, and she's supposed to be a little smaller, a little mousier, but she's not. And I think the woman, I've gotten used to her, but that's just not the one I imagined in the books. And that's the problem with reading the books first, because you know what? Nobody looks like they do in the books. Amos doesn't look anything like he does in the books. He's much prettier. Everybody's prettier in this show. And a lot after this story, the show will be better than the books. The show improves on the books so much in so many ways. And we'll see what they do with book 6. I'm not too sure. It looks like they've cut out a major character, which is kind of a bummer, but it's all right. It looks like Marco Anaro is going to be the big bad from here on out. And that might be a good thing. They cast him very well, very, very well.
Yeah.
No, I am fucking stoked. I watched it a few days ago with this one. I watched with the wife. She watches the show with me, and we just wanted the next episode, but that's good. I'm okay with waiting for the next episode, wanting it.
Yeah.
I don't need to have my every need fulfilled immediately. I'm okay with waiting and talking about this and building it up. And now The Expanse, Mandalorian's over. This is its time to shine. We need people to talk about The Expanse as much as fucking possible. There'll be no holidays to get in the way. It still have a few more episodes, and we can get plenty of people on board in time. And maybe it doesn't get canceled. Maybe they change their mind. They've done it before, and we just got to get more people watching, because not enough people watch the show. That's the biggest problem.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame, and it's hard to add people at this point, but we have to give it a shot. I've tried to reach out to the people on the show and see. I mean, is it that it? I mean, really, or is there any hope? I mean, should we be stirring things up, and I haven't heard anything back, so I don't know. It's discouraging to me. I don't know.
They stopped talking to me a long time ago. The one person who was connected, who was lower levels, they stopped talking to me a long time ago. That's fine. I don't want to be compromised. So it sucks. I want to help the show, but I doubt they want my help. They might want yours, but they don't want mine.
I'm not hearing anything, and it's very, I just asked. It's like, well, I mean, would there be any, without off the record, is there anything that you would like fans to try to do, or is there any even point to doing it? Because they were so, they tweeted out, okay, final season, like they're accepting it, like they've gone through the Kubler-Ross stages of grief and have now accepted it. It's like, well, shit, if I need to know that there's some kind of wish on the other side of this thing if I'm gonna try and get people worked up and I just haven't heard anything, so I don't know. I'm kind of pessimistic about it. Disappointed.
They can honestly end it one part of the story, no problem. Like no problem. But I'll tell you up front right now, I don't know how they're going to end the question of who killed the proto-molecule, because that's not a question they've answered in the books yet. So I have no idea. So I don't know how you answer that question without doing what they did in the books, which means they're probably not going to answer that question. It'll probably be very flimsical. I bet you they bring back Meller next season. I bet you.
Really?
Yeah, they don't do it in the books. No, he's gone in the books. But
I wonder how they could, like Head Miller again, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be Head Miller. It'd be probably.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So that might make up for it. We'll see. It's a fucking fantastic show, and I mean, it's not even fair to compare it to The Mandalorian because the writing, everything is superior in The Expanse, maybe except for the special effects. Special effects in The Mandalorian are pretty fucking spectacular for a TV show. Whew, they're good. They are fucking top notch. But when it comes to like quality television, like that's what you should expect from Star Wars, that type of writing. It doesn't need to be that dark or complex, but it needs to be taken that seriously. You know what I mean? So it's not saying Jon Favreau isn't taking The Mandalorian seriously. I think they are being they're treating it like it's nuclear waste right now. They're being so careful with it, or it's something precious to them. They're treating it like, it's the, I don't know, last piece of giant china in grandma's china collection or something. They're just holding it with gloves and they don't want to drop it. That's how they're treating it. They're not taking any fucking chances right now, which is probably fine. It's probably the best thing to do. I don't fucking care. But The Expanse is how you write a television show. That's how they should be doing Star Trek. That's how they should be doing everything. And they should be taking it that seriously and leaving personal fucking shit out of it. Because they could easily put it in The Expanse. They could fill The Expanse with agenda. There's so many moments they could put agenda in The Expanse, but they don't need to because the world is established. So you know what? You have gay couples all over the place. Nobody fucking thinks twice about it. You know what there isn't? Racism. There isn't racism in The Expanse. There's classism, and they're able to tell that story all over the place. And that is, it's so much better because it shows everybody. I mean, this might sound bad, but it shows everybody suffering together equally.
Yeah.
And it also shows that the people on top, the elites, are also they're diverse too. So the oppressors are diverse and the oppressed are diverse. It really does make a difference. It's fucking good how they do it, and it makes you listen more. And if you want to get a message across, you can't do it by offending your fucking customer. Now, I wouldn't recommend you follow some of these people on Twitter because they will annoy the shit out of you. But if you don't follow them on Twitter, you're fine. Especially the writers of the books, they're fucking bad. They're bad.
Well, yeah, they are interesting folks, but
they might be watching. I mean, they've popped off on me before because I got one little thing wrong. Because I was told Mark Zickery said that they reused some of the Battlestar Galactica stuff for their sets, but that was for a different show. So Mark Zickery was mistaken, and I passed on his mistaken information. And that was the only thing they've ever tweeted on me is we didn't use repurposed Battlestar Galactica sets.
Well,
Okay.
I just thank God that Star Trek Discovery did not use repurposed Expanse sets. When I heard that, I lost my shit. And thank God that we got more Expanse. And at least we get a chance at resolving at them going out in some fashion that is good.
Yeah.
At least there's that. And honestly, I am so tired of networks canceling shows before stories are told. I think any show that is a serial narrative ought to have the chance to go ahead and have the filmmakers make a movie to wrap things up. Like, for instance, Carnival. I really liked Carnival on HBO back in the day. It got like 2 seasons, They could. I'm absolutely sure. Look, you can tell a whole story in a movie.
Yep.
So if they gave them a movie to wrap up all those narratives with the preacher and everything else, I know they could have done it. And I just feel like, same thing with Counterpart. Same thing here. It's like, okay, after this season, maybe if ratings improve, that they ought to go ahead and green light a 3-hour Expanse movie to wrap up the other book or something. I don't know. It just seems
they gave Deadwood a movie, and that was a shame that they didn't, and apparently, it was okay. But at least they got one. It was way too late.
It was way too late. That's the point. When people are still interested in the narrative and want a final episode, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair investment, and I think it's fair to fans, and I think it's fair to the storytellers and filmmakers who have invested so much. So I wish you could see that these days, and you can even have a low budget movie. Writers will make it work. If it's a good enough story that fans are involved in it and love it, then they are going to go along with you, because if you keep the writing great, that's what matters.
Yep.
That's what matters. I would watch us fucking filmed in a warehouse stage play about the final act of The Expanse. If that's all we could get.
A fucking read through, and people would trust you more. They would take more chances with TV shows. The reason people don't take chances with TV shows, because I'm not going to sit through this and it gets canceled and it goes off the rails, and fucking Game of Thrones damaged HBO Max more than anything. And we said it at the time. We said it when it was falling apart, where I'm like, oh my God, their streaming service is fucked. They were relying on this show. This show to spawn a bunch of other shows, and they all got shit canned. So I remember, God, it wasn't that long ago when people were trying to tell us that Game of Thrones season 8 wasn't that bad. It wasn't that big of a disaster. Actually, I think a couple of content creators might have made a video saying it was actually a success. That's the kind of stuff you got to watch out for. People can spin anything, but Game of Thrones season 8 was probably the biggest television disaster in television history, as far as pissed off fans and a narrative just gone wrong, gone dead wrong.
Oh my God, I know.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I got to get to Mrs. Nerdrotic. I'll read a couple more super chats. I have to do a huge square up, so I'm sorry. It's just limited on time with the holidays and stuff. We both are. But I am very limited. So I would like to thank you all for your time, but let's read a couple more here. Patty Jenkins showed less respect towards Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman 1984 than Rian Johnson did to Luke Skywalker. To Wonder Woman, I don't know about that. Fruit Loop for $5. I think she wasted the character. I don't know if Patty, I'm going to try to look into this. I just don't know if she knew what to do with the character, because it certainly it looked like she was trying to avoid the Wonder Woman stuff as much as possible. And it was weird, but now I don't know if anybody can show the only character that's been shown more disrespect than Luke Skywalker is the Doctor by Chris Chibnall. As bad as Jake Skywalker is, it is nothing compared to the Doctor, because at least with Jake, you could say it's Jake, and you can just disregard the Disney trilogy or use your headcanon. The original trilogy still happened. Luke Skywalker is still Luke Skywalker. The Doctor is no longer a Time Lord. He's not Gallifreyan. He's not Gallifrey. He's a dimensional baby.
Repeatedly as a kid. And you know what? Even the Time Lords are not really Time Lords anymore, because they're a bunch of thieving child murderers that exploited this poor innocent to steal the time regeneration. The whole thing is just atrocious.
The whole thing of regeneration has been undone. It was supposed to be the proximity to the time vortex, Archon energy. Now we ripped it off from a little girl. we stole it out of a little girl that we were killing over and over again so she would regenerate. So they tried to put it in Timeless Children. It was out of curiosity. No, it was out of selfishness. Tecteun found this little girl outside of a dimensional portal and experimented on her so she could live forever and she could create the Time Lord. So it wasn't only a woman that the Time Lord energy was taken from to show, to be an allegory for colonialism and cultural appropriation by taking it from the little black girl. They had a woman do it. So Time Lords were created by a woman, and it had nothing to do with Rassilon or Omega. They just fucking left him out of the story completely.
Right, but they couldn't figure out the right woke path there.
They couldn't.
Sure, like Tecteun was the first bestest female ever, like explorer, right? And then she is the one that founds the Time Lords. Only she founds them by murdering kids. So it's just so hard. So you treat this woman like she's a hero and a proud, strong woman, etc. But then she's also a murdering scum of the earth. One of the worst kind of murderers that there are, over and over and over and over again. Geez. Well, I guess that's why they made her white.
Yep. Exactly.
That's the villainous strain. And that was the problem with Tecteun, was that she was white. Other than that, she was perfectly fine.
And the Doctor's name is meaningless now. It's meaningless. Doesn't matter. The mystery of the Doctor's name, which is right there.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. It's Bill. It's Bill Smith, or it's Sally, whatever the hell it is.
Sally.
First Doctor was William Hartnell, Doctor who died at Twice Upon a Time. For me, it was a little earlier, but for a lot of people, it was Twice Upon a Time. Peter Capaldi just never regenerated. The show ended there, and even the people who were defending the show at first are off. They can't defend it. I had a conversation with a person who does Doctor Who stuff. That's all I can say, and they are kind of in an interesting. Well, they have a dilemma going on right now because they don't like what's going on with Doctor Who, but they can't say anything, and they feel bad because they can't say anything because they get guests, they're connected to the show, they talk to creatives, and what you do is, that's, I'm not here to judge. That is a person who wants to do their thing on your channel, and that's how you do your channel. If you don't want to be in the battle, that's fine. I get it. I'm not going to get on your ass about that one. I don't go after content creators. I'll respond if you go after me or Doomcock. I will respond. Yes. But I will not go after you if it's unprovoked. If it's like, do your thing, I don't care. That's fine. And that's why I like being able to say whatever, well, within YouTube's rules, say whatever the fuck I want. And it's a freedom that I enjoy and that I will continue to enjoy. And if it doesn't mean I'm endeared to the BBC, oh, well, nothing lost there. I don't need to interview X stars from the show. It's not what I do. It's not even something I'd be comfortable doing. I like being able to just tell you what I think about a show. It's nice. I don't want gifts. I don't want anything. I don't. I just, you know what? I try to endear myself to you guys. That's the most important thing. You are my boss. That's it. You decide. And I don't want any influence from fucking Hollywood or the BBC or none of that shit ever. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not jealous of anything. I work down there. I never want to go back. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. And I would much rather talk about it from afar and try to give you as, I try to shoot straight. I'll do the best I can. I have bias. I'm not perfect. I most definitely have bias. It's hard for me to be objective when it comes to Doctor Who and fucking Star Trek because of what I've seen. I don't think I'm wrong. And I will continue to fight as long as I can. I can't believe they're still making more of it though. I just can't fucking believe it.
Insane.
Yeah. It's the definition of insanity. So I'll read a couple super chats here and then we'll get out of here. Again, folks, I apologize, but it's the holidays. I'll be back. I have the most of the super chat square up from the last 2 days recorded. I'm just going to add this tidbit. It should be out tomorrow. Taking the day off tomorrow, though. Going to go and spend some time with Junior. Spend some time with Junior. What do you have planned? You got some videos coming out there, big guy?
God, I got a bunch of stuff that I could do. It's one of these choices where I just I don't know which one to put out first. So I'm a little stymied, you know. It's like you can't just put these things out willy-nilly. But yeah, you know, I've got a lot to work on, man. A lot to work on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too. I got 2 videos in the can.
Oh, that's
that'll take care of my 2 days off. Then I'm working on the Mandalorian review, working on another project that should take me through the end of the year, no problem. But yeah, it's nice to get something ahead so I can have a day off with Junior.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
God damn, it's great. It's the best. For $50 from Pinhead. The first time super chat. Wow. Hail, fellas. Looking forward to 2020 being over and hopefully get a happy new year.
Amen.
Amen. I hope it's better for everyone. I hope we I would very much like us to be back to 2019, you know, good economy. We can do we can go wherever the fuck we want. I mean, that's not going to be realistic. I think a lot of us would. This sucks though, because I don't want to settle. I don't want to fucking settle. But I think with 50, you know, going to places with 50% capacity and most everything being open. But tell you what, man, I want to go to a comedy show. I want to go to a music venue. These are things I like to do.
Yeah. Miss this stuff. Miss it a lot. Miss seeing it too. Miss seeing tennis matches where, you know, Djokovic is playing Federer and it's packed with 20,000 screaming fans. You know, football. I know you're not big on football anymore, but Jesus, having again the big crowds, just miss it. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever have it again. I don't know.
It's so and thank you for I'm very honored to be the first super chat. That is awesome. Want to hear your direct quote from Dr. William Marston, the feminist. Want to hear a direct quote from Dr. William Marston, the feminist psychologist, creator of Wonder Woman? Yes, I would. Frankly, Wonder Woman is psychological propaganda for the new type of woman who I believe should rule the world. Yeah, VG, you're right. For 20 Australian dollars, he was also a perv and was in a semi-polygamous relationship.
Yes, so it was really reflecting his bondage fantasies. Because if you notice in the original comics, Wonder Woman was tied up a lot, and he liked it that way. So I love that, you know, it came from a male perversity, no matter what he says.
Yeah, was he a submissive? He was probably a submissive.
No, he was well, I mean, he liked the women tied up. I don't know.
Oh, if he liked the women tied up, then he was the not submissive.
Yeah.
I'm not into that stuff. That there's plenty of it went along. There's a place in San Francisco you used to be able to go to. You could pay. It's a club and did that kind of stuff. John Wayne drinks SJW tears. For $20. I've been on a winter retreat cut off from the world since Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to catching up on all the Gary and Doomcock that I have missed. Thanks. And may you both have a very deserved, wonderful new year. You too, my friend. Thank you so much. And that will wrap. I'm just making sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Andre Fernandez for 50 Argentinian pesos. Gary, really hate the Belters. Maybe is it my earth heart, but they should be under inner control. Don't question it for a minute. No, the Belters are, you would think they try to be sympathetic, but the Belters are assholes. Some of the Belters are big time assholes, but not all of them. Drummer's cool. She's a cool Belter.
They've just really, honestly, they've gotten a really raw deal from Earth. I mean, you can look at Earth as kind of, despite the fact that people on the planet for the large part are on the dole, you know, compared to the rest of the universe, they're pretty elite. And I mean, Jesus Christ, they can walk under their own sky, you know, drink their own water. I mean, that alone right there. And the Belters have gotten it pretty raw. And some of them, unfortunately, have gone the way of, you know, terrorist stuff. And I do not respect that. I find that reprehensible. But in general, you can't, I mean, Naomi's a Belter, for God's sakes, you know?
Yeah. Remember, she had a hard time going down to the planet.
Right.
Last and that's why this show is complex, because it takes the character that you would think would be the most sympathetic to, say, a progressive, and they make them bad guys, and they make some of them good guys, and they are being oppressed by Mars and both Earth, but not everybody at Earth is bad.
Right.
But Christian Avasarala, she's not 100% good. She's kind of a biatch. She tortured people. And then the Martians have been kind of portrayed as kind of nice, although they're an uber military organization. And now you find out that they're not so nice. So everybody's kind of shades of gray, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And you're supposed to fucking hate Marco Inaros. He's
and I do.
Yeah, and we do. And they've left out a character that was utterly horrible. That the Michio Pa. Just be thankful that happened. People who read the book, you know what I'm talking about. I can't stand Michio Pa. It sounded like the authors don't want the show to pull a Game of Thrones and pass the books. Plus, Cass Anvar turned out to be like every male feminist. Was he a male feminist in Sanity Pepper? Yeah, then I guess he did turn out to be. I don't know what he did though. I have no idea what that guy did. So I mean, it's hard for me to comment on it. Maybe you know. I don't know what he did. I got to find out what he did. Was it, did he smack somebody's ass at a party? Because
exactly. Or did he flirt with a fangirl, or heaven forbid get laid? Or did he actually do an assault? We just don't know. Now, if it's an assault, that's an entirely different matter. But if he's just, taking advantage of being a handsome actor on a popular show who's got charisma, well, tough shit. It's, men do try to sleep with women if they're heterosexual. That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That executive that got Me Too'd by Jar Jar Abrams and Mrs. Jar Jar Abrams, you know what his big fucking offense was? He had sensual sex with an actress.
Oh, heaven. Oh, heavens. Well,
burn him
just burn him at the stake. That's right. It's not a personal matter. You got to judge him. Got to go ahead and, it's ridiculous.
And he was one of the guys who was instrumental in getting the Joker made. So, I mean, he might have been good to have around, just saying. Warner Brothers philosophy was a good one. They were trying to bring in the guys who were behind like the Conjuring and those Japanese style low budget horror films like The Grudge and stuff, because those movies were good, they were cheap, and they made a lot of fucking money. So they were trying to apply that philosophy with superhero films, which is a great philosophy. I am all for limiting budget to superhero films. And it makes you more creative, and it gives you a better story. It makes you focus, because CGI is such a fucking crutch. And obviously Patty Jenkins was leaning on that crutch pretty fucking hard.
And it broke.
It broke.
The crutch broke. She leaned on it too hard. Oh my God, that was a bad CG, man. Bad CG.
It was. All right. Doomcock, would you like to plug your wonderful channel and your Patreon and your alternate channel?
Please, yes. Thank you, sir. It is Overlord DVD. That is my channel. I have the Harvey Zone as well, which I have not neglected lately. It's hard for me to balance everything, folks. I'm trying to juggle too many balls, and I pay attention somewhere and get caught up and then fall behind elsewhere. But I continue to fight to do that. Thank you all for sticking with me, and I will try to do better this coming year. That's my resolution. Patreon.com/Doomcock and subscribestar.com/Doomcock as well. Thank you, Gary, for having me on, man. It's a pleasure as always.
Thanks, brother. It's an honor. It's an honor. We'll close out. Vigilante Williamson, one of my members, great guy. Go check out his channel, Up and Comer. He's coming for $5. Says, hey, guys, I hope you both had a happy Life Day and wish you both a happy new year. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, VW. It was great talking to you today. The plans for this channel, I'll tell you more plans later, but we're going to be making some, changes, nothing that you'll really notice. We're just trying to minimize some things. We're going to focus on memberships for a little while. I'm going to be shutting down Patreon. December, just because I just didn't have time for it. I couldn't do both memberships and Patreon. I do want to do something off YouTube eventually, so I'm going to do that, set that up for 6 months, and let you know. It's going to be basically my website. I'm going to do my own thing, and the website's set up for it, but it's going to take time. We've got Perry Chan on board and Lady Grey Master, and they're helping out. They've been great. So thanks to both of them. Thanks to Eric K and all the Modrotics, Nihilist Shadow, Chris Persia, just another red shirt, and Jennifer Cisco. And I know I'm forgetting somebody, and I'm sorry, but all the Modrotics out there, you're great. Love you. And thanks most of all to everybody in the chat thanks to everyone who donates with the super chat or just donates with your time by being here. Your time is valuable. Some of us say that you're only on this, trip once, and it's appreciated that you're all here. So I hope you had a very Merry Christmas, everyone. And there are better days ahead. There is still good entertainment out there, and The Expanse is one of those things. So go check it out. And, hopefully, things will get better, but we'll find out. We're going to keep fighting. So everyone have a good night. Ciao.